Score the perfect gift at Dick's Sporting Goods. Start your wish list with top picks from Nike, Jordan, FP Movement, and more. Shop trending shoes, golf gear, water bottles, and more of this year's hottest gifts. Need it fast? Stop by your local store or use the Dick's app for quick pickup or delivery. Visit dickssportinggoods.com to shop this year's best holiday gifts at Dick's.
Tires matter. They're the only part of your vehicle that touches the road. Tread confidently with new tires from Tire Rack. Whether you're looking for expert recommendations or know exactly what you want, Tire Rack makes it easy. Fast, free shipping, free road hazard protection, convenient installation options, and the best selection of Bridgestone tires. Go to TireRack.com to see their Bridgestone test results, tire ratings, and reviews, and be sure to check out all the special offers. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
0-2 pitch. Kirk bounces one up the middle. Hits to the back. Over to first to beat the champ. You gotta knock him out. The Dodgers stand tall and win back-to-back titles.
Live from New York, it's a show that's congratulating the Dodgers and specifically Brew for yet another perfect prediction. You're just on fire with these.
And congrats to anyone in our audience who took my advice Friday when I didn't take my own.
Oh, what is this advice?
I told them Yamamoto at Friday he was
MVP.
16-1. 16-1 on Friday to win MVP. I told people to bet it.
Did you take it?
Nope, because I was picking the Blue Jays.
And you had the Dodgers originally.
No, and he blew it.
Six.
He picked the Dodgers and the Blue Jays in 6
Yeah.
is the problem. You get it, Brew. Brew's on fire. The Bud List is on fire. Did you watch our walk-in
Bud
video?
List is on a major
All 3 of
fire.
his Bud List editions.
I wish my upset alert
That's
was
why we
on
got rid of
fire.
Cowboy Brew.
No,
First
My
hour,
wife, you know what she bought me for my birthday?
a cowboy hat?
Yes.
Get out of town.
Yeah, a cowboy hat.
Not true.
She said she bought me a cowboy hat. I think she thinks I wear it on the show. Because she doesn't watch the show. She's working. I think she thinks I
we
wear it on
can't
the show.
make Wilds laugh. Wilds is playing hurt today. Look at him.
It's all the winning the Patriots are doing. I'm
Yeah.
not used to it. First hour, first things first. Today, Bills win and are now Super Bowl favorites. What statement did Josh make to the NFL? Meanwhile, the one quote from the Patriots that will make you think we are back to our dynasty-like ways. And yes, it involves cheating. And finally, upset of the week, Packers lose, Coach Mangini wins.
Wow.
Is it time to stress about Green Bay?
It's time to stress about you guys in the upset alert standings.
I won.
Yeah.
You got 1 point. Coach got 15.5 points.
They have a sizable lead.
Sizable lead.
I'm going to have to start swinging.
Don't get upset about those scoring system.
The scoring system's a little bit out of whack.
It rewards
scoring
outright
system,
winners.
If you can get 2 wins and the season's over.
Well,
I'm just saying, baseball had to look at their
It's
rules.
true.
Football looks at the rules. Basketball
He has
looks
a
at the
point.
rules.
no, but
He does have a
KW,
point.
you almost hit a 12-pointer. You had a close one.
I'm just saying it's a little out of whack.
I mean, Coach and Greg won 4.
Out of whack.
I'm just telling you.
First hour, first things first. We're starting with a Buffalo Stampede. Josh Allen almost perfect. Sets a Bills record by completing 88.5% of his passes. Also passed Cam Newton for most rushing TDs by QB.
That's an awesome record.
Pretty good. And he's got.
It feels
And he's
early,
got,
too.
yeah,
He got
that's why
half his
to have
career
this
left.
record that early is
Well,
awesome.
he gets celebrated. If Jalen Hurts does, we got to change the rules. He's also now the favorite for MVP. Here he is postgame.
They're the pinnacle of what you want your franchise to be. They've been that for the last 8 years. Anytime you get a chance to play, the best, and you can come away with a victory, you're going to be feeling pretty good. There's a lot to be happy about, but like I alluded to earlier this week, it's never as good, never as bad as you think. So, got some stuff to clean up. We'll watch this one tomorrow and get rid of it.
Okay, what did the Bills prove in a pretty dominating victory?
More dominating than the score.
Sprinkle this.
Yes.
No, absolutely. It was a
was.
miracle that the Chiefs were within a touchdown at the end. Like the only real downside of that game for Buffalo was Sean McDermott kicking that field goal at the end, which gave the Chiefs a slight chance and makes you a little nervous about his game management come January. But what did the Bills prove? They once again proved and confirmed that they are the Chiefs' biggest and, in my opinion, only AFC threat. And they have been, ever since the Bengals decided to stop fielding a defense, they have been the only, for me, real threat to the Chiefs in the AFC. And Josh was sensational. You said the completion, he set a Bills franchise record. In the same game that Patrick set his own career personal reverse of a record, lowest ever completion percentage. And unlike the playoffs, in the regular season games, not only have the Bills won, Josh has outplayed Patrick thoroughly. We can show you the numbers. It's jarring. They score 9 more points a game, or 8, and the numbers are 8 touchdowns to 9 turnovers for Patrick, 14 to 3 to Josh, and a 30-point gap in passer rating. And so fair is fair. Because as everybody knows, before Danny came on the show, I was the show's Bills guy because you guys didn't believe in him. I did. So Josh Allen's earned it. He deserves it. I'll drop a banner for Josh. Consistently outplaying Mahomes when it matters the least. We all know it. When it matters the least, and listen, I felt for the
Josh
banana.
Supposed to feel good about
I don't know.
That?
It just is what it is.
Fair. It feels a little sarcastic.
A little?
And it's why it's such a shame that the Bills' young players in their secondary, because you heard Josh, just like the standard, all this stuff. Those other guys just were a little too ebullient after the win. Because Cole Bishop, who I think was on Bruce making the leap list in the offseason,
he
had a great game.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
He has made the leap.
And then after the game, he gave the Chiefs a little peek behind the curtain.
I didn't see this.
One of the motions on third down, film study. So I'll play versus the Chargers, where he spit it out there pretty quick. So being able to know he's potentially going to throw that ball, just chasing the motion, being able to anticipate the ball might go there. You might think that's something. What about this from Hairston, the rookie?
TMI.
Who was, this is about Xavier Worthy. Finding a difference in his posture and his effort for real when he knows he's not getting it when it's a run. So just applying what I saw from the film room and taking it out onto the field, there are tells that everybody gives. It's just about finding it.
What are you doing, Bills?
Thanks, by the way, to Tyler Dunn of Go Long TD, who got that Hairston quote. But Brew, those are the types of quotes you give after you've climbed the mountain when you've won your Super Bowl. Like, this is how we did it. So shout out to the Bills. That's 5 straight. They are the first and only team ever to lose 4 straight Super Bowls. They are now the first team ever to win 5 straight Super Bowls. And listen, they gave us a little bit of the blueprint. Josh kicked Mahomes' ass. It was a miracle the Chiefs were only down 7. I was wrong. I lost a lot of money on the game. I thought the Chiefs with a vanilla game plan would be able to win. I was wrong, and so that's what they proved. And credit to everyone where it's due, and thank you for the self-scout Bills secondary. We appreciate that.
I can't believe they did
and we might use that in January.
What are they doing?
Yeah.
All right, first of all, Kyle Van Noy on the show last week. Did you hear that?
What?
You guys aren't a threat at all.
No.
Nothing.
No.
13 wins, 12 wins,
Yeah.
MVP, no threat.
Correct.
All right, use that as fodder. That's just a little something there. I said last week, if they don't win, they're a good team, good playoff team, no chance of getting to the Super Bowl. They've proven to me that they are a legitimate Super Bowl contender. And I get it. Had they lost, everybody else, would have felt like, oh, they're still a contender. But I would not have really given them a chance to get to the Super Bowl. I'm giving them that chance now. And I do feel, and I get it, Nick, obviously, they win in the regular season, they lose in the playoffs. They beat them by 18 a few years ago in the regular season. So this wasn't even the biggest win. But I think they could beat the Chiefs. I'm not predicting it. I'm just saying they could beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. Like, they have the personnel, and I get it, the Chiefs were a little banged up on the offensive line. Yeah. The Bills were missing some defensive players and stuff. But I think their style of play, it's interesting to me. I feel like the Bills have gotten a little better on the offensive line. Offensive line was really good last year. This year, it's like great. Run game, really good last year. This year is great. It's the best in the league. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the Chiefs' defense, while still very good, has gotten a little bit worse against the run. So maybe they're obviously closely matched teams. So I think that them being able to run so well, obviously with James Cook, but of course Josh Allen is always a threat. I think that can give the Chiefs some problems. It clearly did yesterday. Cook was the first 100-yard rusher in about a year against the Chiefs. And then defensively, I was shocked defensively.
That's where I got the game dead wrong. I thought the Chiefs would be able to just move the ball at will, and they weren't.
And there was every reason to kind of feel that way, unless you just put a lot into the Carolina game for Buffalo last week. But I mean, the pressure, they got Mahomes pressured on like 52% of his dropbacks. He didn't play well against the pressure. Obviously, they shut down the run game. I mean, Chiefs don't have a great run game as it is. And look. Can they get that type of pressure on Mahomes in the playoffs when the offensive line is healthy? If they can get close to that, 40%, 35%, something like that, then maybe that could make a difference. I thought they did a good job. You probably saw, you guys, there was stuff going around on Twitter. Bosa, Joey Bosa didn't rush Mahomes, and implying stuff was fixed. They were playing, if you guys didn't see that, there was the
4th and 17 where Bosa got fooled.
But no, Bosa was thinking stuff was, a screen and stuff.
Yes.
Like, I thought they did a good job of, that was an obvious example of them making sure they stayed in their lanes. The pass
integrity?
Lane integrity. Because Mahomes obviously is great at scrambling.
Yeah.
And so I think they kind of took that away from him to some degree.
The Bills' defensive game,
smart.
Listen, the Super Bowl against Tampa, they got, you go, Wilds.
No, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
It obviously wasn't a playoff game, but the times that we have seen Mahomes falter in the playoffs, that is the recipe.
Pressure,
Whether it's Tampa, Philadelphia, he got hurried or hit 15 times. He was getting hit out of bounds, not late, but it was just, hey, we're around at all times. That's the only way. Having a clean pocket and we're going to play it straight up.
And listen,
it's not going to work.
So a point of that, and then on the shots. The Super Bowl against Tampa, he was pressured 52% of the time. They got blown out. Super Bowl against Philly, the second one, he was pressured 53% of the time. They got blown out. Yesterday, he was pressured 52.6% of the time. And yes, Mahomes did take some shots. He also, and I'm the biggest Patrick Mahomes guy on TV, the histrionic and the acting and the faking like he got hit in the head. I mean, run the tape, Dust. I mean, it's embarrassing. For an MVP to have somebody his hand graze his helmet, and I mean, it just can't wait. I was so disoriented watching the game. I thought that was Patrick.
There's just one.
My bad. I mean, let's just see it.
I've seen all-time great.
Oh my God!
Do similar.
Oh my goodness gracious!
This is lame.
Hold on, look at this. Oh my God!
This is lame.
I mean,
this is lame.
I mean, concussion protocol, I suppose, might be. I mean, my goodness gracious! Yeah. But listen, credit where it's due. They played a great game. They deserved to win. And for Bills fans out there that want to see me in pain while I put on a brave face, I lost an enormous amount of money on that game.
Oh.
My friend Nacho's a big Bills fan. I mentioned him a lot on the show. He's also a bigger gambler than me, so I was like, gamble at yours. Yeah, I went up. I went up in weight class a bit. Oh, it's a tough one. Got to pay him in crypto too. Sucks.
I will say quickly, if I may.
Yeah.
When they were up, what was their biggest lead? 28.
15.
50, yeah.
28.
I felt like they could actually blow them out. I would have been feeling real good for the Bills had they, been able to
close
really
it out
blow
like
them
that.
out.
Yep.
Yeah, but it ended up being fairly close.
Bills in Miami on Sunday. As for the other side of the ball, the Chiefs join the Panthers as the only 5-4 teams in the league.
You love that. You love it.
They're 5-4.
We've been ripping the Panthers.
You know what question I wanted to ask if I was in a bad mood?
What?
It was going to be Chiefs-Panthers. Which team is not really 5-4? Mahomes, first time he's ever completed less than half of his passes. Yep. Here he is post-game.
We've had great moments. We've had bad moments. We got to be more consistent as a team. I got to be more consistent at quarterback, and we got to be able to battle. I mean, we've kind of been in a lot of these tight, close games in our history, but they're not going our way now. So how can we deal with that adversity? How can we be better and learn from it? I mean, you can only learn from so many losses. I mean, you gotta learn from it fast, and it's gonna be an uphill battle when we get back. But I think our guys are up to it.
Okay, here's the AFC playoff picture as it stands today. Greg's Colts, number one. In the hunt, the Chiefs currently on the outside looking in. Really, both of you guys' teams, though. W is number two. Are you starting to worry about KC, even though you're not a big worrier?
Absolutely not. Not whatsoever. And I was very cautious and intentional in not mentioning any of the injuries and giving the Bills credit for what they did. But I think now it's instructive to one of the reasons I'm not worried. So they were, by the basically second half of that game, without 3 of their starting 5 offensive linemen and their starting running back. All of those guys, every single one of those guys, is expected to be back after the bye. Josh Simmons actually got back in the facility today. He wasn't hurt. He had the family issue, kind of mysterious personal matter, but he's back now. So I think that initially absolutely helps. That playoff picture helps a lot as well in that there's nobody really behind them that can jump them. Now, I'm not saying Baltimore can't get in, but Baltimore, who's behind them, would get in
as the
division winner. And so they need to catch Jacksonville, who I believe in, but other people don't, or two teams they play 3 times, the Chargers and the Broncos. And I'll be the last man on the I don't believe in the Broncos ship, but I'm going to stay on that ship. And this weekend, and them eking past Davis Mills didn't change my opinion on that. And getting 2 against Denver makes me feel like sitting here today, they're going to win the division. That they're not going to sneak into the playoffs. They're going to run Denver down. And I think this quarterbacks faced versus quarterbacks coming up is part of the reason for my optimism. They're 5-4. I would right now expect them to finish 12-5. And so they have faced the who's who of NFL quarterbacks so far, aside from Stafford, really. And now what they have left is the Dak, who is excellent, but the defense is awful. Justin Herbert, who is when they face him will be without evidently the most important player on the team, Joe Wall.
That's in Kansas City. That game in Brazil.
That game is in Kansas. Yes, that's in Kansas City. And then again, I think CJ's a good player. I don't think the Texans have a good offense, and so that gives me even more confidence that they got. Listen, we knew the first 9 games for Kansas City leading into the bye were the brutal part of their schedule. The hope was to go 7-2. The expectation was they'd go 6-3. They finished 1 game below, what the Vegas expectation was. So no, I'm not worried about the Chiefs missing the playoffs. And I don't think they have to have home field, particularly when it looks like home field could go to either the Colts or a second-year quarterback. And I think Patriots are really good, but just guys, a second-year quarterback in Knicks or Drake May, for that matter. And so, no, I'm not worried.
It's not panic time by any stretch, but it's time for a little trepidation. I think just because, Nick, the room for error is sliding
diminishing
away.
Yes.
Right? Like, they are 1-4 against teams with winning records. So they've looked great at times, but when you get down to it, they're 1-4 against teams with winning records.
Don't you, in your mind, really think they're 2-4 though? Because you're not counting the Ravens win.
And
the Ravens with Lamar is a team.
Of course, I believe in the Ravens, but even 2-4, that's not great. Okay, and now 4 of their last 9 are against teams with winning records. Now you got Denver twice. My guess, because I'm assuming the Chiefs will probably have to play both of those games tough. I think one is week 17 maybe. But I think they'll split with Denver. I think they'll split with Denver.
Well, then they won't win the division. They have to sweep Denver to win the division.
I agree with you that I think they'll get in the playoffs, and I don't think they need to win the division to get to the Super Bowl. But I think they'll probably split with Denver. I think they'll probably end up splitting with the Chargers. I don't see the Chargers sweeping them this season. Indy, after what we saw yesterday, you would think they'll win that game. But, hey, we'll see. So I just think that's, like I said, if you look at their schedule, it's not as tough as it has been, but the room for error is slipping away. And you're right, Jacksonville, you're going to get one team from the AFC North most likely. Jacksonville could be because you're getting 2 from your division.
It's Denver, Chargers, Chiefs, Jacksonville. 3 of the 4 are going to make it, and one of them is going to be left without a seat.
Can I address the elephant in the room?
I don't know what it is. If you think it's the Patriots, I don't.
No, I'm not talking
about
the
go
Patriots.
Ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Tackle that turned the tide. Rough day for the tackle.
I thought you might mention
is that.
So here's the thing.
Just gone.
Obviously, it's not gone. But as powerful of a force as the tackle that turned the tide is, there is a force obviously more powerful. and that forces the I don't even know
What's
what
so
you're funny is Wild set me up for this. Wild set T7 got killed by Kyle Van Noy, so just wait a moment.
I don't know.
Wild's without knowing it set me up perfectly for this because I didn't know how I was going to get into it, and then you're such a great teammate. Because there is a force more powerful, and that is
tackle that turned the tide.
Yeah, and that is destiny. And
What?
it is the ultimate destiny of this NFL season and it had the Chiefs won against Buffalo, it wouldn't have been possible for this to happen realistically. That the final game that is ever played in Highmark Stadium is a Chiefs-Bills playoff game, potentially with the Super Bowl on the line, Super Bowl appearance on the line. And that the final moments of that forsaken stadium is the Chiefs once again beating Buffalo to steal from the city of Buffalo the only thing other than wings that they really have to their name, which is the 4 consecutive Super Bowl appearances.
James is from
and had the Chiefs won, there wouldn't be a Chiefs playoff game in Buffalo, and now there can be. And so I will, again, even the tackle that turned the tide can't stop Chiefs-Bills' ultimate destiny, which is one final playoff game in Buffalo to close that stadium out.
A little bit close to my turf there.
What do you mean?
I'm mowing my lawn a little bit.
How?
I'm kind of the doorstep of destiny guy.
Oh, sorry. My apologies.
A little bit.
My apologies.
Just a little bit. It's time for our daily update of the Athletics playoff predictor.
Okay, thanks.
My favorite, 73% chance to make the playoffs, the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Athletics playoff predictor.
Yeah, I love it.
You give a little more oomph to it than I do.
Well,
Because the Vegas playoff predictor today has the Chiefs as the second most likely to win the Super Bowl.
that's gambling.
Well, yeah, I like that. No disrespect to Mike Silver and Robert Mays, but
This is the Athletics playoff predictor.
That's fine.
Heading to the world of baseball. Dodgers celebrating at their parade today after one of the most thrilling World Series victories ever. Yamamoto wins MVP after notching 2 wins and the save in Game 7. Brew, it was an epic World Series, so it's a tough question to answer, but we'll try. What was your number one takeaway?
It is tough because it was phenomenal. And I love playoff baseball, but this was just incredible. You couldn't, and throughout that game, because it was mostly a 1-score game.
Yeah.
At times it was 2. But I was just saying to my wife, I was like, this is as close as you can be. They're going 7. There's 1 run separating them, and then they get to extra innings. It was just incredible. But to me, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, that's what stands out to me. I mean, he was fantastic to not only win Game 6 with your back against the wall, but then to go in and win Game 7. And the 11th inning when Vlad starts off with a double.
Yeah.
And then they get men on first and third with 1 out. And he hit a batter, too.
Yep.
Everything could have been working against him. He threw, 96 pitches, I think, in Game 6. And here's the deal. His ERA this World Series against that great hitting team, and I talked last week about how the Blue Jays had the best batting average in the regular season, best in the playoffs, best in the World Series, obviously. His ERA was 1.02 in 17 innings. Blake Snell, a great pitcher in his own right, his ERA against the Blue Jays, 6.9.
Yep.
Shohei, a great pitcher in his own right, ERA 7.5. Glass now is okay, 3.3, but as a team, their ERA was 4.8 without Yamamoto. And so for him to have a 1.02 ERA against that team, and it just took me back to, this is rare, obviously. He's I think the first pitcher since Randy Johnson to win 3 games in the. And
Baumgartner in 14 had a similar performance, but it wasn't back-to-back days, where he won Game 1, Game 5, and then had a 5-inning save in Game 7. But that was, I can say this, against my Royals, who were not quite the potent offense Toronto is. You know what I mean? Toronto is.
I mean, they had guys at the lower part of their order getting tons of hits. So his pitching was just
It was
lights out, and that was what.
And what was the biggest reason I picked the Blue Jays? Because
you thought they were better.
Well, yes, but what was the weakness of the weakness of the Dodgers was the bullpen.
Yeah.
And then in Game 7, they're like, how about we use 4 pitchers and they're all starters?
Yeah.
How about we don't go to the bullpen and, inoculate ourselves from that? So, listen, Yamamoto was unbelievable. I'll never get over not betting on him to win MVP after telling people to do it, but so be it. What people will never really get over, and this is, to me, my biggest takeaway, is Blue Jays fans, in that I do not think there has ever been a team that close, that many different times to winning the World Series and not winning it. And I said that on Twitter over the weekend, and people responded, you're forgetting about the Rangers, who were 1 strike away multiple times in 2011. Trust me, as a Royals fan who fades the Cardinals, I'm not forgetting about that. I knew, but that was singular moments, which like, oh my God, we can win the World Series right here. If you're a Blue Jays fan, the 7th most painful thing is that you lost an 18-inning game. Game 6, you have the World Series at home in your building, and you have a chance to steal it. You have second and third, 1 out, and a ball is hit, and you're like, oh my God, is it going to be tied? Game over. That's it. And then Game 7, you're 2 outs away, and a guy who's hit 1 home run in the last 6 weeks takes the lead. But then despite that, bases loaded, 1 out. Bases loaded, 1 out. And IKF is out by literally an inch in as close of a play as you'll ever see.
And he almost stumbled,
right? He did stumble, and IKF, I'm not going to kill him on the lead because smart people have disagreed about it was good or it was bad, whatever. He is as close as you can get. And then after that, you have a ball is hit, and you're like, wait, I think we're going to win because those 2 guys are going to run into each other. And the center fielder that Dave Roberts inserted right before the inning, he saves the game. And then an inning later, Vladdy hits a bomb. Earlier that inning, Vladdy hits a bomb that you think wins it. Like, as a sports fan, I can't imagine a half dozen different instances where it's like, we won the and then the final, the Mookie play, KW, Rainey Jazzarelli, who's a great baseball writer, said this is one of the first in years golden pitch moments, which was either team can win the World Series on this pitch. Where you're down a run in the bottom of the 9th or extras with men on base, where the World Series can end in either direction on this pitch, and it ends on a broken bat to Mookie. I mean, if you're a Blue Jays fan, man, I don't know how you get over it.
It's an amazing World Series. 143 days until baseball season opens up. Coming up next, are the Patriots bending the rules to their advantage?
KW loves this story.
Because that means we're fully back.
Wait, why are we playing the Prince's music?
That's next on FS1 and the Fox Sports Channel on Sirius XM.
Nearly home. Isn't home where we all want to be? Reba here for Realtor.com, the pros' #1 most trusted app. If you're hearing me, I'm going to assume you're awake. And if you aren't, because while you're snoozing, someone else might be finding your dream home. That's where Realtor.com comes in. With over 500,000 new real listings straight from the pros every month, that's a lot of chances to find the place you've been dreaming of. Whether you're searching for a 2-story mid-century with a pool or a little extra space with a spa-inspired bathroom, Realtor.com can help you find it today. So quit hitting that snooze button. Realtor.com isn't sleeping on finding your dream home, and neither should you. Download the Realtor.com app today, 'cause you're nearly home. Make it real with Realtor.com.
Pros #1 most trusted app based on August 2024 proprietary survey. Over 500,000 new listings every month based on average new for sale and rental listings. February 2024 through January 2025.
We just got new intel. Our podcast is #1, and I saw a lot of the rankings that say we're not #1, that there's all these other famous people are #1, but Gianna said no, we're #1. Also, our YouTube channel, #1.
Yeah. I heard that too.
Yeah, so, but still, support it.
It's amazing.
Get on board. Welcome back to First Things First. Greg Jennings is here. Patriots held on to win their 6th in a row behind yet another solid outing from Drake May. Now, New England currently in first place. Stephon notched his 900th reception with Cardi in the building. Our Taylor Swift, as I mentioned several times. She looked just resplendent.
Yeah.
And we actually, with trade deadline coming up, we actually have some breaking news from Dusty. There has been a trade.
Wow.
I have received the rights to the Royal Trumpeters. Previously was a Jacksonville bit, but Jacksonville not totally relevant, but we wanted to keep the Trumpeters.
Okay.
That will now be a Patriots thing.
But the prince that was promised is still Trevor Lawrence, to be clear.
Yes.
But you get the Royal Trumpeters, and what do I get?
You will get the tackle that turned the tide. I'll have my full enthusiasm behind that.
Yeah.
And then when the sports media ombudsman happens for the Bud list,
Yeah.
I will no longer say whether you like it or not.
That's right.
That's the trade.
That's the
trade.
general trade.
My
That's
God.
the trade.
Nick really didn't get anything.
That's
Well,
the trade.
Fine, but he
It's
wasn't
good
using
for the
it,
show.
which is
Good
why
variety.
I will
It's
begin
good for the
using
show.
the Royal Trumpeters
Yeah.
for, of course, the doorstep of destiny, the newest and most sensational bit that we have. So hit the music for the doorstep of destiny, please, gentlemen. We're back all the way. It's a fair trade. Six in a row. I told you guys. I told you. So I've got 2 full screens. Thank you. Welcome. Happy to have you on the team. 2 full screens, Greg, that I want to get your reaction to.
Happy to have you.
First, we just updated this full screen about Drake May. I don't even think Drake May played outstanding. But turns out outstanding is just the floor now. 200 passing yards and 100 passer rating. Longest streaks since the merger in 1970. Prime Aaron Rodgers, Drake May, another MVP Rodgers, prime Brady, prime Peyton Manning, and prime Patrick Mahomes.
No one has had a longer streak in NFL history without having Greg Jennings on their team. That's just a fact.
Great take.
That's just a fact.
That's a great take.
Just looking at it, that's just
So
a
then
fact.
there is some confusion now. What exactly is the doorstep of destiny going to?
Yeah.
People don't totally get it. I'll be honest with you. Bit of a work in progress. We got to kind of out ahead of ourselves. Well, let's go to our old favorite, the Athletic playoff predictor.
Oh, Jesus, man.
If you can zoom in there, I don't actually think we can.
First round bye, 28%.
We have the best chances to have a first round bye out of any team in the league, Greg.
Wow.
So all of a sudden it's like, oh, is this frisky little team going to make the playoffs? Oh, are we going to win a playoff game? Like, hold on. Are we getting a first round bye? Yes, according to the Athletics.
No, according to the Athletics playoff predictor, they actually say there's a 3 out of 4 chance you don't get a first round bye. However, you have the best chance of anyone. Just to be fair.
If you want to be 3/4 glass half empty, sure.
So I am. Should I go or are you going to keep going?
Well, I'm looking for compliments right now, Greg.
This is compliments. No. Listen, I would be shocked if they don't win at least 12 games at this point.
Let's go. Come on now.
Like all they have to win 12 games. You have 6 games left against terrible teams. Or I'm sorry, 5 games left. 2 against the Jets, a Dolphins game, a Giants game, and a Bengals game.
Well, Bengals, it's tough to score 50 points.
but so if you go, say you go 4-1.
Oh, we got the Ravens too.
Say you go 4-1 against the awful teams. Can you go 1-2 Bucks, Bills, Ravens? Yeah. And that's how you get to 12 wins. Now, so I do think, and I wrote it down, the 1 seed is in play.
Let's go.
Now, it should be noted, you guys were you're not the 1 seed right now. You were the 1 seed after week 13 in 2021. Oh. And so like that, now that was obviously the win game and it, destroyed Mac Jones' whole career. But
how's he doing?
His Patriots career. So no, I do think, Greg, that they have as good a chance as anybody of being the 1 seed. I agree with that. So I do think they're legit.
Wow, thank you.
I really like what the Patriots are. You're not done. You want to continue?
No, I'm looking for compliments.
Oh, yeah. Well, all compliments over here. Look, when you watch this team, I think one of the things that you will love is when you look at this team, obviously they're playing solid defense. I don't know if we are really highlighting what Drake May is doing, not just from a statistical standpoint, but from an efficiency standpoint, because his completion percentage, obviously they lead the NFL in completion percentage as an offense. They have the fewest incompletions in all of football, like per game. Like that lets me know, for a second-year guy to make that jump, to run that offense, he's not throwing the ball 30 times a game. Like, so when you ask him to, okay, shoulder this, deliver for us, you know what he does? He delivers. And so I'm just impressed.
Here we go. Let's go.
By what he's been able to do with a decent skill set of guys around him, not overly talented.
Right.
Decent.
Yeah, pretty good.
I like Stephon Diggs. I've always enjoyed him. I think he brings a lot to that offense.
But they don't have great skill
They
position
do not
players,
have
and they're
great
doing it
skill
makes it even
position
more
guys
impressive.
across the board. And so when you don't have that, you're asking your second-year quarterback to be what we hoped you to be when we drafted you. And he's delivering. So I love where they're at.
I second a lot of what Greg said.
You want to just, because it's going to get boring.
No, I got
It's going to
something
get
say.
boring. It's like, should we just advance to the Super Bowl talk? Or
I want to bring it back to earth. Okay. The question says, are the Patriots officially back? And I'm surprised that you allowed that question to even be on the board.
Why?
When you have 6 Super Bowl wins
it's a good point.
this century, overall, but this century, they all happen to happen in, back is winning a Super Bowl.
Well,
Back is not being relevant again. Back is not winning the division, being the number 1 seed. We saw Washington get to the NFC Championship game last year. Are they back?
Yeah.
No. I mean, and look, I love what Drake May is doing for all the reasons Greg said. I love Mike Vrabel. You know, I covered him in high school when he was a player. I love Josh McDaniels as the offensive coordinator. And so everything is moving in the right direction. But as Nick alluded to, 2021, you were the number 1 seed at one point. Y'all made the playoffs. Mac Jones, you were calling him the baby goat, and I liked him. Now, Drake May is legit, I fully believe. But at that point, Mac Jones had beaten out Cam Newton. I get it wasn't prime Cam, but that said a lot. Hey, well, this rookie beat out the veteran Cam Newton and made the Pro Bowl. So you thought you were back then. So I'm just saying, just bring it down a notch. Just so you don't get
I understand that we're all about Super Bowls, but I wouldn't want to swim in your lane. I'm not going to sit here and say that we're S-Bob when we haven't been deemed S-Bob.
That question kind of makes
But I'm not going to, I feel like I'm overstepping.
S-Bob.
I want to be in the S-Bob conversation.
So you're not they're not S-Bob.
I'm waiting for you to give them the blessing. I'm
not gonna do that.
Nah, I'll save the cheating bit.
Okay.
Oh, you want to cook on that?
Well, we were a kid. Did you follow this story, Greg?
Yeah.
So there's a pivotal play. Penix got the snap too quickly. Raheem Morris afterwards said, you know what? Great situational football. They were clapping, which you're not allowed to do. Vrabel said it was clapgate. And I read this, and we looked at it, and it's like, we don't think it actually has any.
Did you see anybody? Yeah,
I watched every view, all 22. Right. I never saw a guy clap.
The reason we're back.
The excuses?
Right there on the line of cheating. We're right there on the line. We're not cheating, but we'll be up to the line. Gentlemen, can you play us out, please? No?
Well, yeah, I think
okay, sorry. I thought that was a no. I thought that I wasn't sure.
Not bad for your first time.
It's good to have them back.
Yeah, it's good to have
the guys back.
Excellent. We'll see you after we beat Tampa. Upset of the week. Packers were 13-point favorites at home against Carolina. They ended up scoring 13 points. Panthers moved to 5-4. Packers 5-2-1. Mangini and Greg an insurmountable lead on Upset Alert. We probably have to change the rules. Here's LaFleur on what bothers him the most about the loss.
What's going to bother you the most about it?
Everything. I mean, you don't give Carolina credit. They played the perfect game in terms of they were able to run the football and keep it away from us, keep a lid on their coverages so we couldn't get explosive plays. And ultimately, we couldn't finish in the red zone. 1 of 5 in the red area is not going to cut it. We had the 2 turnovers, missed field goal. So I think if you look at it, we had errors in every phase of the game, and I don't care who you're playing in this league. If you do that, you're gonna lose games.
Okay. Should Packers fans be worried?
I'd be a little worried. The NFC is not the AFC. It's not that there's 8 teams that are, at all viable, and one of them is the Jags, who just had their lands and titles stripped by Kevin Wildes because Wildes said they're no longer relevant, even though they're in the playoffs. The NFC has a bunch of teams, including the one that just beat you.
Because what are they, second right now?
Well, you're talking the NFC North.
They lead the NFC North.
Right, and so we can show you the NFC playoffs situation right now. Right now, they're 4th, but they're also look at who's in 7th. A team they're a half game up on. Mm-hmm. And that tiebreaker's not going to matter because they're not going to have the same records. The Lions don't have a tie. And the Bears are out of the playoff picture. They're a half game up on them. You then add, Greg, to it what the Packers' schedule is, and you're like, oh, man, they only have 1 layup left, the Giants. Every other team they play is fighting to be in the postseason. Mm-hmm. And so 5 divisional games, your non-divisional games are the Eagles, the Broncos, the Ravens, and then the Giants game. That I'd be nervous if I were Green Bay, who, as Bruce said, is S-Bob and was, a lot of people's Super Bowl pick.
So if I'm the fans, I'm not nervous. I would be a little frustrated with this team because I'm trying to figure out who are we? Yep. And what I would suggest is for them to just kind of take a page out of Aaron Rodgers, past Aaron Rodgers, and just relax a bit because there's a lot riding on the shoulders of Jordan Love. We saw that even yesterday. Based off what we saw last week when there was a showdown in Pittsburgh against Aaron Rodgers and that Pittsburgh Steelers team, the performance he put on display was like, if we get this,
win the Super Bowl.
We're great. We're going to be rolling high. But the level of inconsistency, when others aren't able to step up and make plays, you need this guy to do it, Jordan Love. And he just has found a way to, for some reason, be as inconsistent as they come. And it's frustrating because we see the flame when it's full blown, and then the next week, like Sunday, we see it when it's not.
Yeah.
And as a fan, as one who's played with Brett Favre, one who's obviously played with Aaron Rodgers, it was always on. There was never a switch.
But here it's like there's 2 Jordan Loves.
Kind of.
Yeah,
a little bit.
One is J-Lo and one is J. No!
Yeah, man.
No, I mean, it's interesting. You showed that schedule. Part of me, look, I don't think you want to play a tough team every single week, barring the Giants.
The Giants are done.
They're done, but I'm just saying you got to show up. But I wonder when you look at what they've done already. They've lost to, and the Carolina is better than we've given them credit for, but still, they lost to Carolina and the Browns and tied the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. So those are 3 mediocre at best or bad teams. But they've beaten. At that time, we thought Washington was pretty good. Obviously, Detroit. Obviously, the Steelers. Part of me wonders, will it be good for them to play some good teams? Because
they beat them.
Greg, for them to get up for games, that was a total no-show yesterday.
And
I don't want to take anything from Carolina, but that was a total no-show. The Packers entered as the 5th best rush defense in the league. So you don't run on them. And yesterday, Carolina ran for almost 170 yards. Rico Dowdle had 130 yards rushing. That's a no-show. That's not somebody was better than us or whatever. They didn't go in with the right mentality, find themselves in a football game, and couldn't turn it on. I think the same thing happened against the Browns. And J-Lo, Greg is right. And you guys know I love J-Lo, but he is frustratingly inconsistent. Or even if you look at his numbers yesterday, he didn't have any touchdowns, but they don't look that terrible. But we watched the game, like this was just ridiculous. I don't know that's first down. Like I don't know what he was thinking there. He just makes some plays that make you scratch your head and wonder when it really, gets down to it in the playoffs, is he going to do something boneheaded and hurt you?
And I know we got to go, but I thought LaFleur's answer there on the home media, that was from GreenBayPackers.com, was incredibly instructive. That coach nailed this. When coach said they are 4-5-1 as big favorites. So they have 5 outright losses as big favorites in their last 10. They could be looking ahead to the Eagles. When Matt LaFleur is says in that interview, it doesn't matter who you're playing. Bro, you were playing a team that came into the game with 4 wins. You came into the game with 5. I think it's very clear, they looked at it the way Vegas looked at it, the way I looked at it, which is, the Packers are way better than this team. Mm-hmm. And I think you saw it play out.
It's the Packers' largest upset loss, according to Rob Domofsky, since the merger.
Well, you don't lose as 14-point favorites in this league.
Tough one.
Greetings from my bath, festive friends. The holidays are overwhelming, but I'm tackling this season with PayPal and making the most of my money. Getting 5% cash back when I pay in 4. No fees, no interest. I used it to get this portable spa with jets. Now the bubbles can cling to my sculpted but pruny body. Make the most of your money this holiday with PayPal. Save the offer in the app.
Ends 12/31. See paypal.com/promo terms. Points can be redeemed for cash and more. Pay in full subject to terms and approval. PayPal Inc. and MLS 910457.
Commanders lose by 24. Lost Jayden Daniels in the process, who maybe shouldn't have been on the field to begin with. Here's the headline from the Washington Post. It was 38-7. Why the heck was Jayden Daniels even in the game? That's a good question. Here's Dan Quinn.
Obviously, like the hindsight, you don't want to think that way where, an injury could take place. Obviously we're more conservative in that spot to, run and hand off and not have reads to go. But just the end result, Nicky, obviously I'm bummed.
Do you think Jayden should have been in the game, bro?
I mean, look, we've seen starters in games that are blowouts like this. So I'm not going to kill Dan Quinn. I didn't love the play call for sure. The RPO, and, you kind of put him in harm's way. But I kind of look at it Jayden is obviously injury prone. Like he's already in a year and a half had the ribs, the hamstring, strained knee, and now this. And so I don't want to say, he could have got hurt on any play. So I get it. You could have taken him out, but we see starters. I'm sure you were in plenty of games where it's a blowout, and you just keep your starters in. So I'm not going to kill Dan Quinn on this.
Yeah, he should have been in the game. It's easy for us when a player gets hurt. We said it with Chris Godwin.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Was that last year?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Last year. Mm-hmm. We said it last year with Chris Godwin. And when guys get hurt, when they're trying to fight, do you understand when you are a player, you're not saying, Coach, you can put somebody else in. We're not going to come back. That's not your mentality. The moment it's third down, you are grabbing your helmet, strapping your chin strap up because you expect to go back out there and try to do something. Now, as a coach, the mentality becomes, okay, we got to put something good on tape. We can't just allow this game to trickle into the following week. We're 3-5 as a team, the Commanders were. They're trying to fight to remain a threat in the NFC, which is running away with a lot of other teams that are having success, and we're going in the opposite direction. The best chance we have to do that is with our starting quarterback, to give us something to go. Even if we don't win this game, we have to build some type of momentum for the following week. And that's all teams try to do when they're in those type of situations. But Jayden, he's probably the first one to grab his helmet and want to go out there and compete. So I don't have a problem with it. He should have been in the game. In hindsight, because he got hurt, we're saying shouldn't have been in the game. It was out of reach. But no, every player wants to still play.
Yeah, the problem isn't that he was in the game late. The problem is that this is probably not that shocking. And this is the worst take to have because nobody wants to have it and nobody wants it to be right. But this was the worry with Jayden Daniels coming out of college. And you can't, I understand it's a fluke or it's unlucky, and that all might be true. You can't convince me that that I'll use the other extreme, that if Josh Allen is tackled that way, that happens to his arm. You can't convince me. And this is not I feel sick for the player, but I would have been very anxious about having my franchise quarterback be 190 pounds. And now he's played 26 games, to Bruce's point, and has suffered injuries to 4 totally different parts of his body. And the hamstring is unrelated to these things, but the sprained knee is not, the cracked ribs is not, and I don't think that arm is. I don't think that's unrelated to his frame. And that is, the Commanders fans right now can cope, if you will, by putting it on Dan Quinn. Mm. But I think the bigger story is like, gosh darn it, is this the second time we got a transcendently talented dual-threat quarterback that is lithe, and this is going to be always the concern in the back of your head, which I think it will be for Jayden. I don't like it. I'm not sure. I hate it, but I'm not. If you were to tell me, hey, this happened to a quarterback this weekend, would he have been high or low on your guesses going into it? Just sucks. It's not a skinny guy's sport, man. It's not.
Commanders host the Lions on Sunday.
And their season's over. Their season's over.
Do the Bills deserve to be Super Bowl favorites? That's next on First Things First as we round at the top of the hour.
From Curtis 50 Cent Jackson.
Tommy back.
Yeah, I am. And the executive producers of Power.
There's levels to this game.
Comes the final season of Force.
We're going to have to be careful about our next move. We get what we can now and take the rest later. This is going to be the battle of our life. It's go time.
This is a dangerous life that I choose to be in with you.
Force.
Never bet against me, because I'm always win.
Premieres November 7th, only on Stars and the Stars app.
Live from New York. It's a show that's all in on the Athletics playoff predictor. All in. Well, I feel bad because I was planning on going to the Patriots' first playoff game.
But now you're going to have to wait a week. The home bye.
I'm going to buy. What am I
Oh,
gonna
my
do?
God. If
Got
the
the
only
kids
thing
cleared
standing
for school and
between
everything.
the Chiefs and a trip to the Super Bowl is a trip to Foxborough, oh, my God.
Be careful.
Listen, I've respected the Patriots all year, but I'll sign up for that today.
I told you, Cardi's our Taylor Swift. Second hour, First Things First. Today, it's a time to say that the Bills are the best team in the AFC. Vegas sure does. Meanwhile, are the Cowboys on upset alert tonight? And what's brewing in the Cardinals QB room? You had a good take the other day. Soft benching.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if it's a take as much as
It's
an
just,
obvious
I
fact.
like it. Soft benching.
It's a must-win. Kyler could play, and they're like, no, Jacoby, it's going pretty well,
There's a
Jacoby.
few soft benchings going around.
J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy.
Brock can barely walk.
Oh, barely walk.
He was gutsy to get out there.
But right now, we're headed back to Buffalo. Chiefs lose. Mahomes pressured all night, completes less than half his passes. Chiefs have won a little more than half their games. Here's the KC QB.
We got to learn from it, but it's kind of like you got to do it now. Like there's no easy game coming up, and there's no more chances that we can really take losses. So I mean, you got to learn from it fast, and we got to be better as a team. Offensively, we got to be better, especially on some of those big drives we had in the second half. And I think we'll just continue to push away and learn on this bye week, and then come back and be ready to play our best football coming off of it.
What does this loss mean for Kansas City?
A lot for seeding, potentially, not much for anything else. And so, listen, I was dead wrong about the game. I bet the game. I included the Chiefs in picks, not because I thought the Chiefs were going to change their general philosophy with Buffalo in the regular season, which is be very vanilla offensively and try to use it as an opportunity to win, but also gain as much information as possible. I thought they would do that, but I thought even in doing that, they'd be able to move the ball because the Bills' defense had been so bad. I either underestimated the Bills' pass rush or overestimated the Chiefs' offensive line, even while it was missing people, or a combination of the two led to what has been the only consistent way through an 8-year career to make Patrick look bad, which is consistently get pressure without sending blitzes. It's what happened in the Super Bowl against Tampa. It's what happened in the Super Bowl against Philly the second time around. It's what happened last night. And very quickly, you can get the most talented quarterback I think any of us have ever seen look very human. And I thought, that was the worst completion percentage game for Patrick's career. It was a minor miracle. They had the ball down 7. I'm not talking, Brew, with 20 seconds left. I'm talking about with 7 minutes left.
Right.
And a chance to, all right, go get the tie and see what happens. And 3 plays into that drive, or 4 plays into that drive, he threw a pick he didn't have to throw. Like, Patrick was hurried and off all game. There's no denying it. But do I think any of that is going to apply when these teams play in the postseason? Not really. And do I think that the Chiefs are in real jeopardy of missing the postseason? Absolutely not. I do think it's going to be a fight to win the division, and it's going to be, for my purposes, Greg, a really fun fight, because it's going to really come down to, am I right or wrong about Bo Nix and the Broncos? If I'm right about them and the Chiefs sweep the Broncos, they control their own destiny for the division. Beat the Chargers when you play them again at home, sweep the Broncos, you're fine. And if I'm wrong, then they're going to have to do it as a wild card, which they've been on the road, but they've never not won the division. And so I still believe the Chiefs at full strength are the best team in football. I think Buffalo last night beat them up pretty badly and, deserved the victory.
Yeah, look, what does this mean? You're spot on as it pertains to seeding. It matters. But the reality of it is you're looking at a Chiefs team that now is going to go into the bye week and look at this schedule and look at every opponent and have to give them their best shot. Not because they know they're going to take every opponent's best shot. But now there's no possible way you can chalk or check mark a division win against any opponent. I don't care if it's the Raiders. I don't care. I know you feel this type of way, but you can't go into those games feeling like, because you don't know what other teams are going to do in the division where you're sitting. You
can't take any game for granted.
You can't take a single game for granted.
A bad loss kills you.
And when I watched this team last night or yesterday, one thing that stands out to me is they have got to figure out a way to get some type of a running game. Some type of a running game.
That's where the Bills have been terrible and they couldn't take advantage.
Some type of a running game, because everyone knows, even 4th and 17, everyone believes and feels, I don't care how you feel about Patrick Mahomes, watching that game, you feel like, okay, if there's anybody that can get this, it's him. Mm-hmm. But when you watch them play, you feel real good when he turns around and you hand that ball off right now.
If you're the other team.
If you're the other, because you don't feel like they have anything going behind Patrick Mahomes. That's the one thing that will change how defenses have to play them. And for Patrick Mahomes, right now, does he need help? No. Would he like a little bit more help? Of course. Any quarterback would. And if I'm Andy Reid, I find a way to do something, whether it's via trade, whether it's I don't know how we're calling these run plays, but I got to get more production in the run game, because I know we said Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice and all these weapons open everything up, but that running game, just having a semblance of running game, will help them tremendously.
That's interesting.
I think 2 things. One, and Mahomes alluded to it, the room for error is dwindling badly. Like, they don't have much room to look. 4 or 5 wins, 6 wins will get you in the playoffs. But I'm just saying, they don't have any room for error anymore. So that's number 1. 2, I am wondering, look, they've looked great, and I've thought in the previous weeks they're the best team in football. But they are 1-4 against winning teams with winning records. If you want to throw in Baltimore, 2-4. But that is also, and I talk about their defense improvement, and we don't know how good it is or will get. But at that point, it had not yet turned the corner defensively. So that was maybe a different Baltimore team. But they also, Nick, last year they were 11-0 in one-score games. And everybody talked about them eking out these games. This year they're 0-4 in one-score games. So I'm wondering, we'll see, because 4 of their 8 games remaining are against teams with winning records. let's see how good they are. They got a lot of tread out of beating Detroit, which is legitimate, obviously.
They also got a lot of tread out of beating Baltimore because Baltimore hadn't fallen to 1-5.
We didn't know what Baltimore was at that. But they have lost like when they lost to Jacksonville, it was surprising because they had Xavier Worthy back. So it's like, wow, okay. Now they've lost with Xavier and Rasheed. That's when it was like really clicking, and then they just lost yesterday to that. So it's a good test for them. I still feel they'll make the playoffs for sure. But it's getting a little, things are getting tight.
I want to go on the record here. If they finish worse than 12-5, I'll be disappointed.
12-5.
So that's one loss.
That's one loss. It's one. And if I don't know if we can show the quarterbacks, therefore the teams they have remaining. And I think that is the left side of the screen. You played aside from Stafford, basically all of the best quarterbacks in football.
But they lost to Trevor.
No. Again, number one pick. On the right side of the screen, they play, in my opinion, two legitimately really good quarterbacks in Dak and Justin Herbert, but those teams are now diminished. And then I think that I'm just going on the record. I think they're going to go 12-5, which is why I still think they're going to win the division.
Wow.
So we'll see.
That would be amazing.
Okay.
Just one.
They haven't been great. They've had weeks where they're back.
Since
they look great.
Since the tackle that turned the tide, they're 5-2.
Lost 2 games.
They're 5-2 with a loss to Jacksonville, kind of a weird one, and a loss to a great team in Buffalo. I don't think they play any team, no disrespect to the Colts, we'll get to in a moment, as good as Buffalo the rest of the way. And so they're like if they 5-2. If they go 5-2 the next 7, they wouldn't get to 12-5. I understand that, but that's where I think they're going to finish.
Okay. As for the Bills, well, the odds makers absolutely loved this win. Buffalo is now number 1 in Super Bowl odds, number 1 in AFC odds. Kind of makes sense.
That's not league. That's the AFC.
Yeah.
What? No, they're both.
They're number 1 to win it for the whole. Okay.
Yeah, Super Bowl and AFC.
And MVP, Josh. Now, I guess people really liked that game. It's just Bills Chiefs. Do the Bills deserve this much faith, bro?
Well, look, I think they should be favored in the AFC. Obviously, the Chiefs, we've seen this how many times? 4 times?
5 in a row.
But I still think they should be favored right now in the AFC. And then the league, at first you question it, but the NFC, we saw the Packers, we know what they've looked like. Detroit's been, had some bad losses. The Rams are really good, but they're not scary in my opinion. So there's no team in the NFC. Philadelphia is tough to repeat and even get back to the Super Bowl. So I guess that's fine, but definitely I think in the AFC, they've done enough. I know they've only played, I think they're 1-1 against winning teams, lost to the Patriots, but beat the Chiefs. They have the superstar in Josh Allen. They've got right now the best running back in the league, James Cook. So with that offensive line, I think it's fine for having them favorites.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. To your point that you were just alluding to, you got one of the best quarterbacks in the game. Offensively, we look at them and we talk about, well, they don't have a number 1 receiver, but you got a two-headed monster at tight end that really supplements for what you don't have at the receiver position. I mean, we witnessed Dalton Kincaid and what he was able to do now that he's healthy and on that field, giving them that type of a surge. What I need to see out of this team that will solidify it for me, and again, I don't mind that they have the favorites, the odds are in their favor. Defensively, I need to see more consistency. Not even necessarily even against the run defense. In the pass defense, what they were able to do yesterday at the specific Cole Bishop, what he did yesterday, if they are going to be a team that can make a deep run and upset a team like Kansas City in the postseason, you got to have play like that from a safety like Cole Bishop. Like the pass defenses that he made yesterday, the just instinctive playing that he was doing, it was very reminiscent of a young Harrison Smith. Wow. That I had the pleasure of playing against and alongside in Minnesota. If he and second-year guy, But what I saw out of him, I got to watch more. But if they can get that type of production and then some type of run stopping, yeah, why not?
Well, listen, I've thought all year long that the two best teams in the league were the Chiefs and the Bills. They picked them to go to the AFC Championship game against each other each of the last 2 years. I'd pick them to go to the Super Bowl if that was possible. While I think having the Chiefs favored over the Bills is foolish, they just played and the Bills beat them handily, so I don't take issue with it. I do want to ask you about a couple quotes, one of them from Cole Bishop, because I think one of the best things the Bills have going for them right now is maybe they could make it through a whole postseason and not have to play the Chiefs. Maybe I'm wrong. You know what I mean? The Chiefs aren't going to go 12-5. They're going to go 10-7, be the 7th seed, and get knocked off before they get to Buffalo. But if they are to play the Chiefs, I don't understand why Cole Bishop and the rookie Hairston said these things. Here's Cole Bishop talking about the defense on Patrick. One of the motions on third down, just kind of film study. Saw a play versus Chargers where he spit it out there pretty quick. So being able to know that he's potentially going to throw that ball, and then he talked about a play against Xavier, just chasing the motion, being able to anticipate that the ball might go there. And then Hairston talking about Xavier specifically, finding a difference in his posture and his effort for real when he knows he's not getting it, when it's a run. So just applying what I saw from the film room and taking it out to the field, there are tells that everybody gives just about finding it. That's, by the way, courtesy of Tyler Dunn and his great Substack, golongtd.com. I personally would not be, especially the Hairston quote, that seems like something you'd want to keep to yourself.
I agree 100%. 100%.
If it's a tell.
That 100%. Disappoints me that they
look,
said that.
there was a time where, give you guys a quick story. We played the Atlanta Falcons. I might have shared this with you guys before. And I came in and I saw something on film. And I'm like, guys, I don't care what you looked at all week. I got it. At 2 yards, they're in either cover 4. At 4 yards, it's automatically cover 2. I watched every single game, every single snap. I knew it. I didn't have to see nothing that the safeties did. I told everybody in our unit room. We went out there. We torched them. Never said anything to anybody. That was the playoffs, though. Had I saw that in the regular season, knowing how good they were, knowing we had the potential to possibly face them in the postseason, which we did, I would have never said that. I would have never disclosed it. And I disclosed it to the Falcons defense.
What if you had played them in the playoffs each of the last 4 years and they'd beaten you every time, and it was because it was a different game plan in the regular season and postseason?
So when you're dealing with young guys, this is what you're going to get. And that's why I will give them a pass. Because if they're studying film and they're feeling like, man, I'm doing what I'm asked to do. Yeah. This is why I'm a professional. I'm watching film. I'm identifying tells that allow me to play with a freedom that I don't have to actually identify all these other tells. I know what that was. I saw that on film. I'm going to trust it. That's why I say when I watched Cole Bishop, and I didn't even know he said this, when I watched him play, he was playing with a level of savviness and understanding that was like, no, I know what to expect right now. He wants to play the quick game. He was all over it. I love what I saw. If they can get that type of play,
it's gonna be totally different.
Yeah,
listen, I agree. They're young, but it's like, come on, guys, you gotta be better.
I think it's a mistake.
Yeah,
I think they mean well, but I think it's a mistake.
I took that on its face of Xavier Worthy not giving up on plays, but just.
But now Xavier knows that's discipline. Right, but I guess
that's not that's 101, isn't it? Look like you're going to get the ball.
Well,
it's not like advanced.
A lot of people study other people, and they forget to self-assess oneself. And you got to always understand that if I'm identifying tells of someone else, what are some tells that I may be sharing or putting on display for others?
I do it in flag football, just for the record.
Okay, good.
Just the kid that's very all like this. He's getting the ball. Greg, rough day for you, guy. Daniel Jones turned back the clock on his microwave and his career.
I knew you thought he was him.
3 passes to the Steelers, lost 2 fumbles. Here's the stat line. Threw the ball 50 times.
Yeah.
342 yards against Steelers. A passer rating down at 64. Greg, did the 5 turnover day shake your faith in Daniel Jones?
So it did not shake my faith. We can't have that. Number one, can't play that way. Can't have Daniel Jones throwing the ball 50 times. Can't be in that situation. When you have a guy like Jonathan Taylor and you give him the ball 14 times, I understand he only averaged just over 3 yards a carry. You gotta feature him. He has to be he's the catalyst behind this offense. Daniel Jones has been playing great. Yes, was he pressured? Was he under duress? All these things. And it was a terrible game. I'm not going to excuse it. I do believe this is not what we're going to see moving forward. What I will say is if you are an opponent and you are playing against the Indianapolis Colts, this is how you beat them. Because if you can get to Daniel Jones, it's not just about pressuring him because he's always been under pressure. You have to get to him. If you get to him, he's been known to fumble the ball when he gets strip sacked, throw interceptions, different things like that. I'm not worried about it because I believe that he's in a place in his career where he doesn't believe that's who I am because of what I have around me. And so I believe in that, and I believe in him. Daniel, we've been through worse.
Yeah, that's true.
You darn right about that. He's interesting because I don't feel like this is typically a game where whether it was Darnold or Geno a few years ago, we would have said pumpkin mode. But I have to give him this credit. The start to his career was better than those guys. Like he was a perennial starter. He did have a good rookie year. He did have the year in New York where he led them to the playoffs. So he wasn't as bad as Darnold early in his career. So I'm giving him more rope, if you will, before I say pumpkin mode. But this is why I think they're a good team, a playoff team, it looks like right now, but not a threat to win the AFC because if a team makes them – now their offensive line is one of the best in the league, so I'm surprised they got mashed the way they did yesterday. But if a team takes away Jonathan Taylor and makes Daniel Jones have to beat you, I don't think he's going to be able to do that far enough into the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl.
Also, I note that he's just been called Daniel Jones in this segment and not Danny Dimes. And it's because yesterday he was, of course, Danny Nichols, all 5 turnovers. Well, I don't know what was your favorite, Greg, of the 5. I mean, there's a strip sack turnover. There's another strip sack turnover. And then, of course, there's the 3 picks. I don't even know, because we're late on time, if we have time to show all of it. And are you really, come on, deep down you thought this magic act is coming to an end, didn't you, Greg?
Here we go.
Oh,
I watched this.
You were watching? You were watching? Oh, no. You were watching this and you were like, oh. Is it going to come this quickly? This bad? You wanted to continue to believe, but deep down you knew it couldn't possibly be real. It feels like so pure and innocent. Like this is what it's supposed to be.
Completely ruined all this right
what
now.
Are you talking
Just knock them off.
But in your heart, you're like, no, this is sleight of hand. This can't be. I know better than to think the Daniel Jones-led Colts have a better offense than the 07 Pats. Than
That was a lot.
Than the 2018 Chiefs. Than the greatest show on turf. That Daniel Jones deserves a spot on Bruce's ballot. You knew that couldn't
Take it all away.
That couldn't be reality.
Whoa!
You knew it.
Wow.
You knew it had to be make-believe.
Just excellent yet again.
Buenos dias! Café Bustelo espresso-styled iced coffee is hitting refrigerators with a cold front that'll sweep through your senses. So keep the coffee pours long and the cold sip slow. Café Bustelo está aquí.
Normal segment, but we are not huddling. Welcome back to First Things First. We're starting with the Bengals. They can light up the scoreboard. They can't play defense. Chapter 25. How many times have I done that newsread?
I guess 24.
Exactly right. Here's Jamar Chase and Chase Brown. They're not happy.
I'm going to stay in my lane. I don't want no defensive player come and chew me out about what I'm doing.
We just got to play complementary football. Like, we put the ball in the end zone and go up a point at the end, finish the game. Like, just end it. Like, that's it. Like, that's what we need to do. Just end the game. Like.
Brew your reaction. I know you're not a fan of curse words, so I apologize on behalf of the show.
I get the frustration. My goodness. They have scored 80 points in the last 2 weeks and lost. How much time was left when they gave the ball to Caleb?
35, 40 seconds? Or no.
There's 3 touchdowns in the last 100 seconds.
Less than a minute, for sure.
You just can you hold them for 40 seconds?
No,
or
can't.
whatever.
Not
and
gonna
obviously
happen.
they can't. And so I get the frustration. I mean, Greg, you might have to speak to how that sits in the locker room. I think Jamar Chase had the standard answer of, look, I don't want players coming to me like catch the football or run the right routes or whatever. So I guess that's probably standard. But I get the frustration on the running back Chase Brown's part.
So I don't know if you guys remember early in the season, I put Jamar Chase on the Bud list, and I said he has to be more. He can't stay in this lane. We don't need to hear about it, but he can't just stay in this lane.
Well, what you think saying something can help?
Has to. Well, we hear about. Sometimes we hear too much about these come to Jesus meetings or these players only meetings. That they are producing offensively, and it's something about either whether they need to practice against their defense in practice instead of letting the scout team do it. Let's give them some good looks. Let's give them these looks as receivers that they're going to have to go up against. As a quarterback, there's ways you can go about it. And if you are truly all about trying to win, you will exhaust everything. And I get the frustration. I've been there. I get the frustration. I'm not saying that you can't be frustrated. You don't have a right to be frustrated. Yes, but there's still so much season left. And you can win these games if you just get some more out of not only yourself, but others as well, specifically on that defense side of the ball. But, yeah, same old Bengals.
Yeah,
just scoring a lot of points.
And listen, it would be disingenuous for Bengals fans or commentators to act like the season was lost because Joe got hurt. No, it was not.
Yeah,
they would be cooked with or without Joe Burrow because since they've gotten Flacco instead of Browning, they are getting, we can show you the numbers, peak Joe Burrow level production. Which does beg.
Oh, my God.
Fair question.
It does beg.
It is not a fair question.
It has to be.
How do you don't even know what the question
I don't need to know.
How do you guys yelled at me. I haven't even said the question. What, you guys don't know what the question's going to be?
It's a fair
Maybe the
question.
question's going to be, does Joe Flacco have a lot left in the tank? Maybe that's the question.
It's weird.
Or the question is, the question
Or the receipt. They got two
is,
phenomenal receivers.
some of, not all of, some of the credit we have taken away from Jalen Hurts for his All-Star team and from Brock Purdy for the Avengers. Were we doing that while looking at the Bengals and being like, man, Joe Burrow, Mount Rushmore quarterback? And should we now, when we see 41-year-old Joe Flacco, who's eating at TGI Fridays by himself, having the time of his life,
Locked in,
going out week after week and throwing for 320 and 33 points a game and saying, maybe Higgins and
Greg, it's a
Chase.
compliment to the power of wide
Browning
receivers.
did it a couple
Two years ago, we saw Browning do it.
I mean,
I'm just again. I don't need. It's not a take I'm giving. It's a question I'm asking.
Then let's move on.
It's not an official take.
It's not a take. I would never sit up here and say Joe Burrow's a system quarterback. That's ridiculous.
No.
I would never sit up here and say. I would never sit up here and say Joe Burrow could leave the team and you replace him with a 40-plus-year-old who was bad for the Browns and they wouldn't miss a beat. I wouldn't say that, but I do turn on football on Sunday and see it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it. I'm a Burrow guy. Everybody knows that.
He's not saying that.
I'm just
just so happens that Joe Burrow threw for 470 yards.
Yeah. It just looks a lot like last year's Bengals is all I'm saying. Except the
not saying it.
Thank you, Wilds. You get it. I wouldn't say that. I'd look ridiculous.
No, Joe Burrow's one of the best quarterbacks. Now Jalen Hurts, system guy.
Exactly.
Of course. Oh, Jalen Hurts. On the Bears side of things, Caleb had 3 touchdowns, caught one too. Here's his record this season. Might be a little dirty pool if Danny was out here.
Well, you can't take out two of the games now.
Well, how about two of the games
you
against terrible defenses?
Okay, well,
He's cooked them up, and then the rest he doesn't. So that's what I'm asking. Did this game change your view on Caleb, or it was like, hey, you're the Bengals. If Joe Burrow played his own team in the scrimmage.
And we should also include, after the Bears blew this, and then Caleb made a huge play at the end.
Yes.
Like, if people didn't watch, it was an amazing final drive for Caleb.
It changes nothing for me.
Nothing.
Now, look, Caleb is on the right track. I don't know where that track will end, but I think he certainly is on track to being like a good, solid quarterback.
Oof.
The question is, can he be he's expected to be a great, transcendent quarterback. I'll just stick to great. I'm kind of come off transcendent. But I saw nothing yesterday to move me in terms of, he's going to be a superstar. I saw nothing because he was great. But it was against the freaking Bengals.
But if he wasn't great, wouldn't it have moved you negatively?
Yeah, it would have been a problem.
Yeah. So
but I mean, he did this same thing against Dallas, and then had 4 straight bad games. Like you saw it, 7 touchdowns, no picks against the 2 worst defenses in the league, 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions in the remaining 5-6 games.
But Brew, isn't one of the knocks on Caleb? Too high and too low, a little emotional within the game. To me, that last drive spoke a lot.
It did.
Because that would have been a worse loss than the Hail Mary loss, to blow a 14-point lead with 2 minutes left to that team, and for him to rally them and they score a touchdown. I thought it
was nice, but does it convince you he's going to be a superstar?
No, but
I thought he was going to be good.
But
like he showed me enough to think he's going to be good.
It moves it in the right direction.
It was a good game, but I mean, I want to see it. He's done it twice. I thought Dallas, he's cooking. All right, here we go. And then he has a bunch of 70
I do want to see more. However, I'm more with Nick on this one because I do think for Caleb's psyche, forget how we view him. For his own psyche, you need to remind yourself that I can do this. That even when my team needs me the most and they need a drive, they need heroics, if you will, I can still come through. Now, the game was in hand, and then for some odd reason, they found themselves on the outside looking in, and he found a way to make enough plays, and he did it. And when you're on a team that is kind of teetering on the brink, and you look within your division and then in your conference, and you see, like, man, we don't have a margin of error to lose a game like this, find a way to win it. When just last year, every game like this, they found a way to lose it.
And unlike the Cowboys game, where it's just a rout, they needed every single one of those 47 points. The defense allows 42, and they win. Like, that to me is something. It's not nothing. Go ahead.
I hear you guys, and I agree with a lot. Like, it is a step in the right direction. Justin Fields cooked against this Bengals team. I'm just saying.
No. That's true. I oddly feel better about this than if it was 47-21. Like the fact that they needed it, and then my favorite impromptu 30-second bi-weekly segment. 2024 quarterback redraft today. Today. This moment.
Right now we're doing it?
If you ask football world, Drake May goes 1.
Easy.
Who goes 2? Today. We know everything we know. This moment. Caleb's back to 2.
I don't know. I think a lot of people might look at Bo Nick.
Those people must not have.
I still think Jayden would go.
Really?
I still think he would go second.
Okay.
The injuries is.
It's at least a debate. This morning, it's a debate.
It's more of a
It was not a week ago.
Took 4 touchdowns. And another guy is in a hospital.
Right.
Bed.
That's what
So congratulations.
No, but the reason I bring it up is I think that is a very going to be continually fluid conversation, and it had just been people I think tried to stamp that Caleb over Jayden, forget Drake May, that Caleb over Jayden was a huge mistake by Chicago. And this morning, I think all of a sudden, you'd have very split opinions. Maybe. That's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make. That's all.
I think some people would take Bo. I'm not saying I will, but Bo Nix over Caleb. this morning.
Sean Payton and his family.
He's 6-2.
But okay.
He's something.
I mean,
I know you penciled in 2 wins, but the guys.
They're 7-2 actually.
Oh, even
if we're
better.
gonna be fair.
Steelers down the Colts, moved to 5-3. They forced 6 turnovers. Danny Dimes had 5. But they only won by 7 points. Kind of odd. Here's Mike Tomlin.
It's a fine line between drinking wine and squashing grapes in this business. It's nothing dramatic, it's really not.
Greg, are you starting to believe in the Steelers?
Wild's absolutely not.
No. Wow.
Absolutely not. Like, I'm just not. This is why, like, watching that game yesterday with all that went wrong with the Indianapolis Colts, with all those turnovers that Daniel Jones did have, and to still be right there to potentially have a chance to try to win this game, try to tie it up. Like, I get it. The Steelers, they got after Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
They showed flashes of, man, they can get to the quarterback. TJ Watt is alive. This defense, oh my goodness, they can stop the run. They can do some things, but how consistently can they do it? And is it sustainable, or is it enough if we don't give you 5 more opportunities offensively? Because if memory serves me correctly, you have a team that you root for that when they played them, they gave, was it 5 turnovers?
5 turnovers.
It was 5 turnovers.
We were driving to win the game.
My point. And so you can't win games when you're playing against teams who aren't going to turn that ball over like that. And I don't believe that New England, if they were to play them again, I don't think you get 5 turnovers. And if you play the Indianapolis Colts, I don't think you get 6 turnovers. So can you really win those games without? I give them credit for winning, but I don't trust this team because if they don't get those turnovers, they don't win these games.
That's a fair read.
I think you guys are being a little harsh on the Steelers. And I got Baltimore winning the division.
Why?
Steelers just missing the playoffs. Because I think Baltimore is that good. And the Steelers are what I thought they were. But, I mean, they forced those turnovers. The Danny Dimes and Drake, they didn't just give them the ball.
Muffed punt, they were forced turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, they hit hard. That's what the Steelers do. The Steelers, I should have picked this as an upset alert, obviously. But, I mean, this is why Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season. He has consistently, year after year, gotten them to win some games they shouldn't win.
That's right.
They haven't had a great quarterback in years, and Rodgers is playing the best they've had in years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying they are what I thought they were, about a 9-win team, maybe 10 wins, and will finish just outside the playoffs. But I'm not going to – like, they got 2 of the best wins in the AFC.
So you don't believe them in the
Patriots? Well, no, I've never believed in them. I mean, as far as winning –
just wanted to make
But I'm just saying, the Patriots and the Colts are 2 of the best wins.
Just very quick, I think you guys can all be right on not believing in them. It doesn't actually matter that much. Here's the point I'm trying to make. Believing in them is a conversation about, like, can they do damage in the postseason?
Yes.
For Brew's purposes and the Ravens' purposes, it's simply an arithmetic question, which is how many wins are they going to get?
Yes.
And so whether it was a fluke or not, that's a super damaging win to Baltimore. Because that's a win, if you guys are right, the Steelers had no business getting that they got, and now it's, you know what I mean? And so the spread stays 2 games when I think most people thought it was going to be down to 1. That's the problem for Baltimore.
Cowboys, Cardinals tonight. We make our predictions. And was Kyler Murray benched? Or are we expecting an A game from the Cowboys? That's next.
I'm 32, juggling family, working full-time, and earning a bachelor's degree. At University of Phoenix, I earn career-relevant skills with every 5-week course. Skills I can use now, not just after graduation.
Earn skills in weeks, not years. Visit phoenix.edu.
Start your Saturday strong. Number 2, Indiana Hoosiers. Mendoza leads Indiana up against Penn State. Big noon kickoff at 10 a.m. Then it's Indiana-Penn State only on Fox. Welcome back to First Things First. We're talking about the Monday Night Football game. 3 strange storylines of this game. Storyline number 1. Last week, Jerry Jones told the Wall Street Journal that he's spending spending some of his time on $100 billion worth of natural gas investments. And that's why he's not fixing the Cowboys defense. Strange story number 1. Strange story number 2, USA Today. Headline. Did the Cardinals subtly bench Kyler Murray?
Yeah.
Strange story number 3. This is from John Machota today because the trade deadline is tomorrow. Jerry actually has made a trade. Who is it? We don't know. He declined to share who was involved in the trade, but we'll immediately have him on the field and we'll address some of the things that have been our shortcomings.
I'm sure it's a super impactful player.
No one else. We haven't even heard from the other side of the trade or agents or anything.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe it's someone huge. Maybe Trey Hendricks.
Yeah, I would doubt that.
Wow.
I think the Cowboys are gonna roll tonight, and so I don't expect the Cardinals to light up the Cowboys defense. I also think the most interesting thing is the soft benching of Kyler Murray, and I think that if you are a Jets, Browns, Raiders, or maybe Steelers if Rodgers retires fan, you should, be watching the Cardinals once Kyler gets back on the field because he's going to be playing for one of them next year. I think his time in Arizona is done, and I think that a trade this offseason is inevitable, and the fact that they are not having him play in the stadium he feels the most comfortable in.
He loves it.
9-0 in Texas Stadium in his life is a sign this coaching staff's done with him.
Okay.
See, I think benching him, though, lowers his trade value. You want him out there showing some signs of life, and I think Cleveland's been there, done that with Deshaun, so I don't think they'll go after him. But, yeah, I mean, if it is a soft benching, that says a lot, But tonight I got the Cowboys winning. I'm a little hesitant because every time I think the Cardinals I actually think they're a well-coached team. I just don't think they have a quarterback. And Brissett, we saw they almost beat, was it Green Bay?
Yeah, he was also old school. He liked when Gannon punched the player. He's like, that's what the coach would have done to me.
I mean, we could take that back in the day. But I think they'll Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm going with the Cowboys. I like what they've been doing offensively. And when I look at the Cardinals, when you start to have questions and you're not firm in the direction that you want to go, especially at the quarterback position, that leaves me to believe that there's going to be some chatter still happening in the locker room. It translates to the field. Cowboys win tonight.
Jacoby Brissett, former Patriot great. I don't think the locker room was ever really behind Kyler Murray.
I'm with you there.
It's been the story of okay, see what happens.
So you going with?
Yeah, I'm going with the Cardinals to light up this defense. The defense hasn't put anything on tape.
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Okay.
Good, better, bad! Good, better, bad! Never let it rest! Never let it rest! Good gets better! Good gets better! He better get better! He better get better!
We made every critical error you needed to at the right time to lose it. Perfect storm.
Defense played incredible, and we got to put a game like that. We got to put 35-42 on the board and close the game out.
Bears on 3, 1, 2, 3, Bears!
Live from New York. It's the show that's happy for you.
Thank you.
But
good, better, best.
You like that?
You guys
What's
are
the
too.
problem?
You guys are too down on Caleb.
I'm not.
They scored 47 and he had a comeback in the final minute.
It was the Bengals. We just watched Justin Fields look like a Hall of Famer against them. Against that same team. And I'm just saying, are you convinced he's going to be a superstar because of what he did yesterday?
I was convinced well before that game yesterday.
I'm a simple guy, I think. I would like Bears on 3. 1, 2, 3, Bears.
You love
I don't like these
celebrations.
No, I got a full karaoke session in there. It's like too much.
If that were Drake May, you'd be in tears.
Drake May just goes, pass on 3, let's go.
Hey, breaking news. Ben Johnson will be on the show on Wednesday.
Oh, good. I like that. You know what? He's doing a great job.
Yeah, I thought
Look at this guy.
Yeah, I thought so.
Like a lot of good vibes.
So. Might change your tune.
First things first, overtime starts right now with Allen a day's work. We're headed back to Buffalo.
I get it.
Where the win propelled Josh and the Bills to Super Bowl faves, AFC faves, and MVP favorite status.
As predicted.
The loss dropped Mahomes to 3rd in the AFC West. Here he was after the game.
We've had great moments. We've had bad moments. We got to be more consistent as a team. I got to be more consistent at quarterback, and we got to be able to battle. I mean, we've kind of been in a lot of these tight, close games in our history, but they're not going our way now. We got to learn from it, but it's kind of like you got to do it now. Like there's no easy game coming up, and there's no more chances that we can really take losses. So I mean, you got to learn from it fast.
Here's what was Mahomes' afternoon, Danny. 2 real stats jump out. 1, pressure percentage, 53% of the game when it's 22% normally. And his completion percentage was the lowest of his career at 44. What was your number one takeaway from the game?
That the Bills validated my preseason belief in them. I picked Josh Allen to be the MVP and the Bills to win the Super Bowl, and they finally looked like it. You'd questioning why I wasn't dropping them in my rankings, and I was like, I thought it was a 2-game blip and that they were really, really good. And I said on Friday's show, I was like, I want to see what the Bills defense can do. Do they have it in them? Because if they won the game 41-38, it would be like, okay, that was really exciting, but they still had this fundamental flaw on the defensive side of the ball because they had been beating up on bad teams. Yeah. But that performance, the Chiefs had scored 28 or more in 5 straight games. And we can show you what Mahomes was doing. You just showed his numbers in the game. What Mahomes was doing coming into that game, 4th in completion, 4th in passer rating.
Why does that say previous 5 games when you know what it should say?
Tackle that turned the tide.
Since the tackle that turned the tide is what it was.
Troy, is that a you thing?
Since Troy, just so you know, it's the tackle that turned the tide.
Not cool.
I'm glad that
Good job,
Not cool, Troy. Pack your stuff up.
Hey, Troy, I'll defend you here because I have a new idea.
No, don't.
For an acronym.
It's gonna, Danny, nobody is a bigger fan of yours than me. This is gonna be awful. If it's what you did on the walk-in, it's gonna be bad. I'm just telling you now.
Let's let the audience decide. Do you prefer tackle that turned the tide that resulted in a loss to Jacksonville and the worst game of Mahomes' career against Buffalo, or T3 man? Tackle that meant absolutely nothing.
Yes, like I said.
What?
Exactly.
T3 man. T-T-T-M-A-n.
Yeah, nobody likes
T3 man?
The tackle that
I told
meant
Danny I tried to save
nothing.
you from this.
Just because you got traded the Trumpeters to Wild.
T3 man sounds like a wrestling character.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
I'm sorry. The show that brings out a magician and a literal doorstep. T3 man is a step too far.
Gianna has had second embarrassment for you. I'm just telling you right now.
Gianna, you have to.
Somebody's got to throw their bodies in front of that.
I got to be honest. I like you taking a stab at it, but
I told you, buddy.
Let's turn the tide.
You should have just said it.
Okay,
you shouldn't have labeled it. You should have just said it.
Here's the thing, Danny.
All right, no, I'm just saying the Bills were awesome.
Yes, like they are, and I know you.
No, you can't
hate this.
I loathe it. Go ahead.
I can do it.
Go ahead.
They were awesome, and Josh outplayed Patrick like they do every single year in this spot. Yeah. And we can try to twist our minds around to be like, but this one's different, like we do every single year. We can pretend like last year the same things weren't said, or the year before, because this is the ledger of Josh versus Patrick in the regular season. It's the last 5 years. It's not only that Josh is 5-0 if we show their stats, but it's the numbers are. Josh in these games looks like legitimately the best quarterback in football.
You look great.
And Patrick in these games looks bad. Not bad by his standards, not worse than Josh, bad. The Chiefs don't average 20 points. Mahomes' passer rating is 75. He has more turnovers than touchdowns.
That's just wild.
And yet, every year come the playoffs, the Chiefs don't beat the Bills because their defense is great in the playoffs. They beat the Bills because they take the Bills' absolute best defensive game plan imaginable that they give them the blueprint on every year in the regular season, and then come out in the playoffs with adjustments to it. That is simply what has happened. Now, I thought the Chiefs were going to be able to roll out a vanilla offensive game plan and move the ball at will on Buffalo. So I was dead wrong about how this game was going to go. Yeah. But the idea that this game is an indicator that if these two teams meet in January, it's going to be different than it's been every January, where the Chiefs take the lessons they learned in the regular season and apply them in the postseason. I don't know why we would think that.
I didn't say that. That's just like, I agree with you that in January, the Chiefs will get the benefit of the doubt because of their history in January. Point conceded. The thing is, though, we didn't know if this 2025 Bills defense was capable of doing that. Now we do. Like, if the Chiefs' plan was, let's go beat Buffalo with a vanilla game plan, that was a bad idea because they're the 8th seed right now. And they could lose to Houston. I don't expect them to, but they could because it's the NFL and weird things happen. And the Chiefs wake up today in 8th place, outside of the playoffs. You heard Mahomes. That's just dangerous. Maybe they'll get an injury. Maybe they'll have a kick blocked. Maybe they'll drop a touchdown pass. Maybe they'll have an injury at the wrong time. I don't believe that the Chiefs just go into the game against Buffalo and they're like, let's just not try hard.
It's a no.
With the game plan. I don't believe it.
If you guys can put that graphic with Mahomes versus Allen back on, that is, those stats, Nick, show that they do go in with a vanilla game plan. I mean, for Mahomes to have a 75 passer rating in 5 games, like that clearly is, we're not sharing our best stuff. What I want to ask you, though, is being that they're in the position they're in this year, 5-3, 7th seed going into the game, do you think that they still had that kind of approach where it's like, we're not going to show them anything?
So, listen, 2 years ago, the Chiefs went into this game. Last year, it was weird. It was different because Chiefs were undefeated. They had a huge margin of error. 2 years ago, the Chiefs went into the game, I think, 8-3. And came out of the game, I might have the years wrong, went into the game the 4 seed in the AFC and came out of it with the 5th best record in the AFC. A year before that, the Chiefs went into the game with the chance to put basically in Buffalo's season. They were 6-6, drop them to 6-7. And I still thought it was, we want to win, but we are not firing all our bullets. And your point of they don't have the margin of error, or that if they woke up today as the 8th seed, I flatly, and this is not directed to you, this is to everyone, could not care less about if the playoffs started today stuff, because they don't. Because if there was a world where it's like, hey, we don't know how many games the season's going to be, and at any given time Goodell could be like, playoffs start, then you would always want to stay in the top 7. But we talk about SBOB stuff all the time. The Chiefs are more than any team post-Patriots in modern NFL history, SBOB. And they clearly have a pattern of, we are against the teams that we believe we have to go through in the postseason, which at this point is really just Buffalo. We are going to keep things in reserve for the playoff game. And
that's just dangerous, man, because now that game's probably going to be in Buffalo if it happens. And I know
and they got a fight on their hands. I mean, I think they'll make the playoffs, but I was saying earlier, Danny, the Chiefs are 1-4 against teams with winning records this year. And they got 4 of their last, 8 games against teams with winning records. So we're going to, and to your point, they've lost, 2 of their last 6 games? Which isn't
they're 5-2 post tackle the turn.
Yeah, but that includes the Giants games, right? But I mean, they got a tough road ahead of them.
You want a final word?
No, I just have a question. If we can have one more minute, Christine, before we get to stock up, stock down. You're saying it's dangerous. My question would be why wouldn't it be more dangerous to be like, guys, this is the year. We're going to roll the dice and show we have seen, just like Jerry Hairston said, I saw on film that Xavier Worthy, indicates whether he's getting the ball or not. If the Chiefs saw on film leading up to this week, oh my God, that young safety, Cole Bishop, he has an indicator that it's stone dead on. Would you have, if you were running the team and you had a kill shot opportunity, would you have said, okay, fire that gun this week? Or we're going to hold that in reserve because we believe this is an inevitable game. And as far as this game being in Buffalo, maybe, But if the Bills could finish with a better record than the Chiefs and a head-to-head tiebreaker, and if they don't catch the Patriots, it might not matter. And so, like, would you, if you had...
No, I wouldn't have said it to the media. I wouldn't have said that I found the guy's tell to the media, but I would have taken advantage of it. I just don't believe that you can just be giving away regular season games. I don't think the last 5 weeks when the Chiefs looked like the greatest show on turf, they were doing it with vanilla game plans. I think they were trying to score a bunch of points. I think they were trying to win that football game. I think they were trying to score points, and they didn't do it.
All right, let's head to Cincinnati for check-in on the stock market. This game featured 3 touchdowns in the last 103 seconds and ended with either a great play or horrible tackling from Cincinnati. And here to sort it out is this week's edition of Stock Up and Stock Down.
The stock is up on Caleb Williams and his undeniable talent. There's no question that Cincinnati's defense is a part of it, and there's no question that these guys are going to mock me for the chart here and the stat that we're using.
Fantasy points?
Here's the reason it's fantasy points, Nick. Here's the reason, okay? I understand that, listen, I don't even have him on any of my fantasy teams, but when you are the first person in NFL history to do something, it shows why people like me believe in the talent. First player in NFL history with 3 or more passing touchdowns, 50 or more rushing yards, and 2 or more catches. It's never been done before. Yeah, that's right.
It's the 2 catches is the thing.
Stop
I still thought it was cool.
What do you mean, stop it? The guy had 2 catches.
Who cares about the catches from a quarterback?
He's an undeniable athlete. He's an undeniable talent.
He is a great
He has 3 go-ahead fourth-quarter drives in the last 5 games. His fourth-quarter passer rating is the best of any quarter that he plays in. In their last 6 wins, he has a fourth-quarter go-ahead drive in 4 of the 6 of them. The kid is getting better, Brew.
He is.
It's undeniable how good, that his ceiling is limitless. He's not there yet. He's not
I think you're going a little far. Look nice step in the right direction. But 5 words just to bring it down a notch. Carson Wentz and Justin Fields. That's 5 words. Because they look this good against that Bengals defense as well.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even bring those guys up if he had done it against somebody other than the Bengals and the Cowboys.
So there was
7 touchdowns, no picks in those 2 games. Like about a 127 passer rating. And then in the other 6 games, he's got 5 touchdowns, 4 picks. I'm just saying, like, it was a step in the right direction. You play who's in front of you, but don't expect me to throw a parade because he looked great against the hapless Cincinnati Bengals.
I had a parade planned. I settled for stock up, stock down. It's very tough. The Bills had nothing that they could gain against the Chiefs. The Caleb has nothing to prove against Cincinnati. We're playing the games.
I did say, and I texted you guys during the game, this was a good test for him when he got the ball with 40 seconds. So that was good. That was good. I will give him that.
Left.
That's the part of this that I'm a little surprised by your take on, because Wilds has the chat on mute, but the rest of us were in a group chat on Sunday.
It's a fun chat.
And Danny was mid-meltdown as the Bears were melting down. And then Brew, you texted, big moment for Caleb. He then came through in a way none of us thought was going to happen. Like, Danny, you thought they were going to get him in field goal range.
That's right. And then the kicker was going to miss.
And then the kicker was going to miss, which felt very Bearsy. And they end up scoring a touchdown. And that, to me, for a guy who has been, I think one of the fairest criticisms of him has been he is too much of an emotional roller coaster. To have the entire team take that stomach punch of the onside kick recovery, which just never happens, and then giving up the touchdown, and for him to be calm, cool, and collected driving down the field, I thought that was the best moment of his career.
Danny,
it was good.
Question. Were you worried about the Bears' special teams and defense for giving up 42 points?
Listen, the defense, their secondary is so injured that it's one of the worst special teams games I've ever seen. You gave up a return touchdown to open the game, had a big return negated by a hold, missed a field goal, and allowed an onside kick recovery. It's like an impossibly bad special teams game. Richard Hightower on the hot seat.
That was a trap.
Why? Well, how was it a trap?
Because, like, what are you going to do? You're playing the Bengals. They score a lot. Then I'd flip it and be like, well, it's okay.
Yeah, I didn't walk into it, or did I walk into it?
Well.
I don't know.
All right,
what
next
goes up?
Stock down, yeah.
Must go down, stock down, yeah. Something's off with your Packers, Brew. And I don't know exactly what it is. The data here is just points scored, 13 against the Panthers. And I understand Jordan Love is not a part of their run defense, which got gashed by Rico Dotto. And I understand that McManus, their kicker, is getting booed at home, and a million things happened in this game, and for the most part, Jordan Love was good. Well, let's go on a journey with me in the middle of stock up, stock down.
Okay.
Jordan Love has 3 interceptions this year.
Yeah.
Let's watch all 3 of them. The first one is against Cleveland. This is
the worst pick of the season.
Arguably the worst pick of the season. It's the only way they can lose the game, and they end up losing the game to the Cleveland Browns. I have no idea why it happened, how it happened. He just threw it right to the opponent, and that should never happen in that spot. They were a massive favorite, and they lose.
Hence the nickname.
Jay No. Right. Yeah. The next one is against Cincinnati. It hits 2 different Bengals in the hands. We just talked about the Bengals defense. Takes points off the board. They're in the red zone. It's early. They end up winning off one Bengal, off the next Bengal. It's 3rd and 5. It's not the worst pick I've ever seen, but it had no chance of being completed. And then we go, after the Bengals won, it goes a few weeks without, to this pass yesterday. Into the wind is what Packers fans would say, but this is triple coverage on 1st down.
A team meeting.
A team meeting. Totally unnecessary. There's a guy wide open in the flat. I have no idea what he could possibly see. And it's just hard because then there was the one that ends up being dropped that was comical. And I know Dobbs steps out of bounds and he takes himself out of the play. He's good enough to beat you until he's good enough to beat himself. And I just cannot trust this guy when in year 5, these are the mistakes that he's still making.
No, look, I mean, there is something about J-Lo that he makes some boneheaded plays. Right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And that's what he's got to get out of. I don't know what in the world was going on yesterday with him or the team. I would put it here. It's immaturity. On his part.
In year 5?
And yeah, I mean, but it shouldn't be there, but unfortunately it is. But that's what it is. And on the team's part, they clearly took that game lightly yesterday. You know, and you can't have that when you're trying to win a Super Bowl. So I admit that J-Lo yesterday, it was just one J-No moment after.
Listen, it's why after the Micah trade, I called him the most interesting person in the league this year. Because if he is just steady, they can absolutely make the Super Bowl. But to your point, Danny, he's one of the most untrustworthy, really good quarterbacks in football. That's what I would call him.
Yeah, he is really good.
He is one of the really good quarterbacks in football and one of the least trustworthy, of that group.
Okay. All right, last one, and we're ending on a positive. Stock up Steelers defense. Wow. I know, and this is opponent passer rating, so the lowest it's been in 5 weeks. I know you could say this is Daniel Jones turning into a pumpkin, but the Steelers defense is a who's who of names we know. They are spending more money on the defensive side of the ball than any team in football, and they have a first-ballot Hall of Fame coach who is known for his defense, who consistently has them in the regular season as a top 10 defense. And one of the best offenses through 8 weeks that we had seen in NFL history, that was on graphics with the 18 Chiefs and the 07 Patriots and the 09 Saints and the 24 Lions, went in there and they forced 6 turnovers. I was wildly impressed with what the Steelers defense did given who they were playing. And if they can get this version of Aaron Rodgers with any semblance of that version of that defense, they'll be dangerous in the AFC.
Wow. Wilds, I mean, you the one been killing them all day.
They're dangerous until you do a draft of teams you want to play in the playoffs, and I would pick the Steelers first.
They actually beat your team.
For the record, we gave them the ball 5 times, and it wasn't like, oh my gosh, what a play. It's just coughing up the ball.
Yeah, hold on. Against you guys, it was a lot of coughing up the ball. These are forced turnovers.
Exactly. This was Danny Dimes. Well, yes, Danny Dimes having a pumpkin game.
I don't think so.
If you run this game 10 times, you think this happens? How many times?
I don't know. That looks like prime T.J. Watt to me. Beating a very good offensive line, beating a good tackle, getting to the quarterback in less than 2.5 seconds.
If you listen to Mike Tomlin's full press conference there, wasn't like over the moon for this, and I don't think Tomlin's not ready to like have a parade in Pittsburgh either.
But I mean, we do have a way we kind of settle
games,
like. Who's better? We have a way to settle that.
How do we settle it, Drew?
You play each other.
I agree.
They played the Patriots.
They played the Patriots. Between the Patriots game and the Colts game, there was 11 turnovers from the defense. They won by 2 touchdowns. It's weird. All I'm saying is weird.
I agree. I'm just saying Rodgers has been better than most of us expected. The Steelers' defense has been worse than all of us expected. If they could somehow get,
they're not scary.
I mean, well,
they
you guys
get
can
this
say
version
they're
of
not
the Steelers'
scary.
defense.
I am. If the divisional winners are Patriots, Steelers, Colts, if those are the 3 divisional winners, I don't know how teams would draft who they want to play in that list. Drake May in his first playoff start, Daniel Jones in the Colts. Or, if you're saying if the Steelers make it Rodgers, like, I'm not sure if it's as cut and dry
I would
as you put
personally
it.
sign up to play the Steelers. Not me personally, Kevin Wild.
You'd rather play the Steelers than the Colts. And who do you think the Colts would rather play? You guys or the Steelers?
I think the Steelers
want to
love
play
to
the fact that they shut down Jonathan Taylor, I thought was impressive.
Yeah.
If you're going to neutralize, he had 45 yards, I think, and he was over 100, averaging over 100. So, look, something. It's not a stock I'm, interested in.
Okay.
To be honest with you. You're trying to sell
It's
it.
like a buy and hold.
Yeah,
It's not going to make or break your portfolio. You're not retiring off of it, but it's a steady part of a portfolio.
I'm going to get into AI. Coming up next, more on Caleb Williams. What did he prove in a statement win? We discuss next
get enough Caleb.
On Overtime.
Welcome back to FTF. Diana Rossini, Greg Jennings out here, and we have breaking news. Chargers left tackle Joe Alt is going to need surgery on the ankle injury he suffered against the Titans yesterday, which will unfortunately end his season. So we'll talk Caleb and Jayden in just a bit. This is a huge blow for the Chargers. Justin Herbert's been the most pressured quarterback in football. They were undefeated. They still are undefeated in games that Joe Alt starts. Obviously, the Slater injury, then their third-string tackle, Pipkins, has been in and out of the lineup with injury. I feel like there's a breaking point in how many offensive line injuries you can sustain, and this is a huge one for the Chargers.
Yeah, especially somebody like Joe who, started the season with the understanding I'm going to play right tackle. Then you move him to left tackle, and then he creates that stability, as you mentioned, when he is in the lineup. We saw what it looked like in the games that he missed. And it's unfortunate because we all want to see Justin Herbert and this Chargers team make a deep playoff run if they are capable of doing that, which that doesn't mean that they still can't. But losing a guy like this that solidifies who you are up front, even with the injuries that you already have, is a big blow.
You always hear one player doesn't make a difference, right? That's kind of like the safe way to say every player is important. Not for the Chargers. He is the most important person on this team outside Justin Herbert, right? They're 4-0 when he finishes the game. They're 2-3 this season. You don't even need to be an expert in football to see how different the Chargers play when Joe Alt is in there. And just the confidence it gives Justin Herbert knowing he's safe, he's getting protected out there by Joe Alt. So it's really such a big blow, especially knowing who's in their division, right? The pass rush that they've got to face. Yeah. Kansas City's in this thing. The Denver Broncos are in this thing. I just think this is going to be a really tough challenge for the Chargers to figure this out. And we're really going to see what Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh are made of and how they're going to figure this out. And the trade deadline coming up here in less than 24 hours. Yep. They're already making calls for an offensive lineman for Slater. And now they're going to have to make more. So we'll see how this shakes out.
Good luck. Yeah, there's not a guy that's going to be available that can replace him. Straw that broke the camel's back. I think one too many injuries for them. But let's get back to the reaction from a massive Sunday yesterday. Want to play a game?
Yeah.
Guess who? Did your quarterback throw for 280 yards and score 4 total touchdowns and rush for over 50? No? Anybody? No? Mine did. It was Caleb Williams. Led the Bears to a 47-42 victory over the Bengals, the game winner to Colston Loveland. Here is Ben Johnson, friend of the show. He'll be joining us on the OT on Wednesday. Take a listen.
Hold up a second.
Oh, no, I found it. 5 right there! 5 wins, man! Halfway point, 5-3, and I know it wasn't pretty, but don't apologize for a win in this league, guys. If it is close in the fourth quarter, you better
I know that they can have their eyes rolled at that, and I know that this is not a perfect team, and I know that that was Joe Flacco and the Cincinnati Bengals. But, man, I am happy Ben Johnson is the coach of the Bears because they got something going there. Are they going to win the Super Bowl? No. Are they going to make the playoffs? It's a coin flip at this point. But the improvement that they are showing and we are only halfway into year one of the Caleb Williams-Ben Johnson marriage, and the vibes have changed, and they also have had plenty of injuries, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Like, I am very bullish on the near-term future and the long-term future of this pair.
Yeah, this is the best coaching that we've seen in the Chicago Bears organization in a really long time.
Since Lovie Smith.
This is the difference, right? I think we obsess over Caleb's game-to-game improvement. I think we're focusing on the wrong thing. I think the stock is up on Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears team collectively. It's still going to be up and down for Caleb, but in a league where we want to see improvement immediately every week and we want to see him be a superstar quarterback, I just think that the program that Ben Johnson has instilled already and installed in this team, it's working, right? It's working. It may not be as fast as everybody wants it, but it's only week 9, headed into week 10 here in November. So I think they're ahead of the game in terms of where they were just 2 weeks ago. They've got their ground game going. That's what they've been focused on. It's quite obvious. And they're doing it without Swift as well.
Yeah, look, it was a good win. Really good win for this Bears team. A lot of what you guys are talking about is what everyone was hoping to see. Ben Johnson stepping into a head coach role. How would that look? How will it translate in terms of not just being a play caller? We're seeing that. We're seeing the growth of Caleb. When you need him to make a play, we saw him make a play. Look, it was ugly because they were in control of this game, lost control of it, and then you draft a quarterback at that spot for these reasons right here. And it was great because as a Michigander, it was cool to finally see they had a tight end.
Yeah, you love Colston Loveland. Yeah.
He can. I thought that this would be kind of the role that he plays in this offense, and you see a glimpse of what he can be as an asset in the passing game for a quarterback, a young quarterback that is, in Caleb Williams. I think he needs to be a lot more involved. Hopefully, this is a sign of what's to come. If it is, they have more and more options starting to arise.
So let me ask you this, Greg. Like, Caleb Williams has now played 25 games. All right, it's not a huge body of work. To your point, there's a lot of, like, is he ahead of schedule, behind schedule, a lot of comparisons to Drake May, Jayden Daniels, all that stuff. But it's 25 games. It's not that much. But he already has 7 go-ahead or game-tying drives in the fourth quarter. I've watched every snap of this guy's career at least one time through. It is very apparent to me, and the numbers do back it up, but, like, it's just obvious if you watch it. He has, like, that thing, that it factor, ice in his veins, whatever. He gets better and cooler and calmer and collected in the fourth quarter. How much does that matter from a pass catcher, a player, a teammate perspective?
So I think it matters quite a bit. And I've said this about Caleb when I first started watching him. He just seems more comfortable when he doesn't have to think a lot. And a novice fan would think, well, wait, when the game's on the line, you gotta believe that the quarterback is thinking quite a bit. Well, naturally, your play call completely shrinks. You got to go with what's working, what the defense is showing, what you feel like you can check into, and it's just go out there and play, hit the open guys. If it's there, take it. If it's not, use your legs, and that's where he thrives. So in moments like this, when we saw him yesterday, this is where there's no extra thinking. There's no ability for him to then overthink. You can build on that, especially with a head coach like Ben Johnson, because he talked about the process and it's going to be growing pains, but this is what you want to see in the direction you want to see him trending.
The thing you're praising him for is the thing we were knocking him for a bit last year, right? The off-script plays, that instinctive athleticism that we heard so much about coming out of the draft. And I think you're right. When the pressure's on, he's just going with what feels right, and the natural athlete is coming out. What stood out to me, though, for the Bears and why you should be confident in this team more is a lot of self-inflicted wounds, right? Yes, it's the Bengals, it's Joe Flacco, I get it. But the fact that they were able to figure out a way to win, it's not always going to be pretty. And you heard the coach talk about it. You can't take these wins for granted. You saw New England yesterday, right? A lot of self-inflicted wounds with Drake May. They figure it out. And when you figure it out, you start trusting each other more, right? And you start having more confidence in what you can do. That if you do get yourself in trouble, someone will step up and take care of business. And I think they proved to themselves that they can get themselves out of their own way a bit.
You want maybe the most self-serving graphic that I've ever put on TV before?
Please, do it.
You want it, Greg? You ready for this?
Of course.
The first player since 1983 with 2 passing touchdowns, 50 or more rushing yards, and 2 catches, Caleb and Sweetness. Caleb Williams, and it hasn't happened since Walter Payton in 1983.
You just gloat, my friend.
I'm just saying.
Don't
Have your moment. Paul Hornung did it too in the Hall of Fame. Walter Payton did it in the Hall of Fame. Caleb Williams, future in Canton. Greg,
Slow down.
I'll see you there 2038, 2040. What do we think? Probably like 2045.
I'm not ready to say that, but I will say this. A lot to your point, Diana. Like a lot of these games that they lost last year, this would have been in that loss column of games that they found a way to lose last year.
Oh, I was thinking about the Hail Mary against Washington when Joe Flacco lined up for it. I was
finding a way
thinking
to
about
win.
it.
And when you find ways to win this game, you mentioned something, it breeds confidence. It breeds this idea of we're not the same as last year. We understand we've been in these situations. We know what it takes and what's required of us to come out on the other side. And when you do it, it trickles into win after win after win after win. So we'll see.
All right, let's go to the game last night. Guy in Caleb Williams' draft class. Commanders fall 38-14. Seahawks look dominant, but this is a blowout. They're down 31 midway through the fourth quarter, and Jayden Daniels leaves the game with an elbow injury. Here's Commanders head coach Dan Quinn about the injury and the loss.
Obviously, I'm just gutted by it. I'm just bummed. We didn't have any read plays on it, and the one that he was on injured is, usually a runner or a throw to the flat. It's not a scramble, so it wasn't a designed read or play, into that spot. If we run it, 50 times, it's either a handoff or a throw. I'd say 50 times. So it's a bummer, man, in a big way.
A bummer and a mistake.
A bummer and a mistake. Thank you.
Yeah, and he came out and admitted today. He said it's making him sick thinking about what he did, obviously keeping his scrambling quarterback, who's already got two legs that are injured, in the game too long. I think the best people to talk about this situation with is backup quarterbacks, and Chase Daniel, one of my colleagues on our podcast, was saying, as a backup quarterback, you always know when it's your turn to go in. He's like, and if I'm on the backup quarterback, I'm thinking I'm starting the fourth quarter. Like, what are you doing? This isn't a 3-score game. It's they're 4 scores out. What are you proving? And when I talked to some people in Washington about perhaps what that philosophy was, it was to try to get the offense confident.
Yes.
And in rhythm. That's what it was about.
You gotta do it.
It wasn't just sacrificing your quarterback out there. It was to compete and to attempt to build on something. So yes, you take that risk. And look, we see what happens when you.
It's easy to Monday morning quarterback.
It is.
I will say, I'm always talking about this in the morning. Thursday night, Ravens are up 3 scores late against Miami, and they're turning around and handing the ball off to Derrick Henry. I'm like, why? For what? And it apparently was so he could have like a 100-yard game. I'm like, what is it, 1995? How is that relevant?
Yeah.
To me, the risk of injury, and I know a guy like me saying that to a guy like you has to feel ridiculous to a guy like you. I get it. But to me, the upside of get in a rhythm or put something good on film versus the downside of maybe Jayden Daniels' season being over is just not worth it.
Yeah, and you just don't think that way as a player, as a competitor, even as a coach in the competitive moments in the confines of a game. You're thinking, how can I turn on the tape on Monday and have something positive to then point to? That's all it is. Yep. When you are getting demolished, and they were in that game, not a whole lot was going their way offensively and or defensively. You're trying to establish some type of rhythm going into the following week. So when you do sit down and turn on that tape, which the game is in hand, we are going to lose this game. But I want there to be something positive that we can hang our hat on going into the following week of practice and our next opponent, to say, you know what, guys, we did do some things good. We were able to establish this. We were able to establish that. It all is for naught when the injury happens because you start to think, hindsight 2020, like, man, we should have took him out. You don't think that way as a player, as a coach, because your competitive drive is the only thing firing in that moment. And most people, most coaches even, aren't thinking, I got to protect my players.
Devil's advocate real quick. Let's say Jayden Daniels scores on that play. Do you really think the Commanders are feeling better today? Jayden,
you're watching the tape.
He's in the NFC Championship game last year. He's the Rookie of the Year. We know he's awesome. They still lose by 21. You think it feels much better?
See, it's easy for me to say no because I know they lost. But if they score,
competed a little bit more
if they score, and then we don't know what happens afterwards, that's the part that's unknown.
The game was over.
Naturally, as a competitor, if I'm out there and you're asking every bit of me 100%, let's go. Line it up.
This poor fan base that saw RG3, though, right? They're so sensitive to
They
this.
are.
So today they're waking up like, not again.
What are we making of that Steelers win over the Colts? We'll get into it coming up. All right, welcome back. The Steelers routed the Colts, but then they won by a score. But it was a weird game, and it's a massively important one for the AFC playoff picture. 6 takeaways by the, at times, much maligned Steelers defense. Rodgers, 200 yards passing, a touchdown, 27-20, like I said. Rodgers, though, after the win, not too happy. Take a listen.
We got to look in the mirror and play better on offense because that's not good enough. Any phase, run game, catching the football. Defense played incredible, and we got to put game like that. We got to put 35-42 on the board and close the game out. So, good tape for coaching staff when you win a game and you got a lot to work on.
The Steelers are the most interesting team to me so far through half of the season because I thought they were going to be a top 5 defense with an old quarterback.
Yeah.
Right? And through the first half of the season, Rodgers is like top 5 in touchdowns, and the defense has been awful.
Yeah.
But then the defense plays up to their money yesterday, forces 6 takeaways against the best offense, and then the offense kind of sputters. If they could marry the two, like if they can get the version of Aaron Rodgers that they've gotten, which has been objectively good enough, not great, but definitely good enough, with the defense that they've been paying for, they can be really dangerous.
And maybe a wide receiver before the trade deadline, too. Give them a little extra skill player out there if they can get something done. I know they're making lots of calls. Look, when this defense stops the run like they did and when the Colts play outdoors, that Steelers home field advantage played out, right? Because if you think Indy had so much success and they're playing indoors,
yeah, you're
just
right.
to be back outside was certainly the advantage for Pittsburgh. But this is the blueprint for the defense. This is what they want to look like. And what I thought was really interesting from talking to people in Pittsburgh over the last week or so, it wasn't like Tomlin was rallying the troops on the defensive side of the ball. Nobody was panicked at all. So much so people on the offensive side of the ball were asking, why aren't they getting mad at them? They just have a belief and a confidence. And look, when you get this many turnovers, it's helpful. And this is exactly what they need to do. And to point to what Aaron was saying, if they can just get going and you put them together, they're going to be good.
I don't think there is a franchise that I've come to know and watch that wins ugly more than the Steelers. It's just what they do. If there was a style that they wanted ugly because they know that that's going to give them the best shot to win. Partly because of what you were kind of alluding to. They've always had the defense. They never had the guy under center since Ben Roethlisberger. They never had that guy. So it was like they had to keep games close. They had to keep kind of like what the Denver Broncos are doing. That's what they would do. And so when I see games like this, it's their brand. I don't mind that Aaron Rodgers in that offense didn't have a great game because I don't expect them to have stellar performances week in and week out. However, defensively, they better start looking more like this moving forward, or I can't believe in this team because I don't think the offensive production that we have seen when we do get to see it is sustainable.
And listen, you've heard coaches for decades and generations of football say the leading indicator of wins and losses is the turnover margin, right? So like this graphic I'm going to show you here is not completely revolutionary, but in their wins this year, 23 sacks and 14 takeaways. In their losses, 4-2.
11 of those in 2 games.
Well, right, but the Bears had 15 takeaways in their 4-game winning streak. So again, that's not entirely unique to Pittsburgh, but they are built to be like that column on the left more consistently, and they haven't.
Yeah, but their schedule's not fun. That's the problem, right?
Correct.
They have to look the way they did on Sunday in order for them to have success because the version of that defense that we saw the last few weeks, if they're going to put the game in the hands of Aaron Rodgers right now, I'm not sure it's going to be good enough. He's good. He's just not great. I don't know if he can carry it all. They need the defense. They signed him knowing that the defense was the backbone of this team. They were okay with the fact that he was older, right? And that's why they had, no insecurities or concerns about him, because they just needed him to go out there and manage it. And that's what he can do very well right now. But without this defense, they're going to be dead in the water.
And it starts up front. If they can pressure the quarterback like they did yesterday, the age in their back end with some of the older guys in that secondary, it doesn't matter because they're savvy enough to still cover and to make plays. But if they don't get pressure, which they haven't been able to do, like yesterday, they
bend a lot.
They're going to
right?
be,
They bend a lot
in trouble.
Doing it to that Colts offense, though, I was very impressed. Cowboys got a big game tonight. They better win big. All right, so the Cowboys got the Cardinals tonight. Dallas only a 3.5 point favorite back in prime time. There's always some sort of drama when it comes to the Cowboys. Diana, Greg, your expectations tonight.
First of all, do not ask me about this Jerry Jones trade. I don't know. I don't know if he's making this up. I don't know if he's referencing Micah. I don't know what it is. I'm trying. I'm calling everybody. They better blow this team out of the water. They're at home. They've scored 40 points or more every time they've been at home practically. This should be an easy win for a team that really needs to bounce back on defense specifically.
I don't know, Diana. If it's one thing the Cardinals they don't get blown out. Defensively, they are pretty good. Obviously, the Cowboys need to win this game to stay pace in their division and in this conference, but I think they'll get it done, but I don't expect them to blow this team out.
I know the Cowboys are the bigger brand and they're the offense and we focus on them. Are we positive Jacoby Brissett is not better than Kyler Murray? Like, are we positive? Like, no.
We have more time for the show.
I'm just saying.
We're not positive for that.
Let Jacoby go into Dallas against that defense and cook.
I'm with you
Those
there.
questions are going to start to get loud.
They should already
trade
be
out on tomorrow.